Evening, evening all. Welcome back to Instant Spurs, episode 30. How's everyone doing? How is everybody doing? How's everyone's day been? Blimey, it's been hot, hasn't it? Good, we got the good weather back, guys. Hope we have. I hope we have. Yeah, big up to everyone who's joined us. Late last minute stream this, but yeah, plenty to talk about with Spurs this week. You know, been busy, isn't it? Lots of hype. As usual. Is there too much hype, guys? And this is what we'll be getting into tonight on the stream, talking about the stories, what happened in the past week, and yeah, guys, get involved with your comments. Yeah, be good to hear from you what you're thinking about how things are going with Spurs. Look, we've had the Van Hecke sign in. We're going to get into Tonali links, Fernandes links. Wharton has even entered the chat now. Spurs are pushing. Zerbi wants experience, no space for the kids. And apparently Spurs are challenging for the Premier League title next season. Well, so yeah, look, plenty to get into, and also the Premier League fixtures are out. And look, let's see what everyone thinks about all these stories tonight, which I'm gonna go over. Look, let's see if anyone's joined us in the chat. See if we've got any hellos. Oh, we got Scott in the chat. How you doing, Scott, mate? How are you? Yeah, that was the latest one. I think today, Scott, it was Spurs are pushing. Spurs are pushing for Wharton. Load of bullshit. It's a load of bullshit. We're not pushing for Wharton. It's fantasy football season, guys. Links galore. Different links every day. Yeah, look, it's I don't get drawn into it all, but the fan base do. And this is why I've called the show today Too Much Hype. And each story I'm going to talk about, and you guys in the chat, you can tell me what you think. You can give it a rating as well. You can agree with my rating. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Big up to Ghosted in the chat as well. How you doing, man? How you been? Hope you're keeping well. What else has happened? Something else happened this evening as well. Wasn't there another bid? I think Brighton, 45 million for Vukovic. Guys, are you taking the money? What do you reckon? You're going to take that 45 million for Vukovic? What did you think of his performance the other night against England? A lot of people didn't think he was very good, but he's a young kid. He needs to develop. He needs first team football. If he does stay at Spurs, he's going to need a loan, preferably to a Premier League team. See what he's all about. Yes, he had a great season playing for Hamburg in Bundesliga, but come on, we need to see him in the Premier League. And but I don't know where that one's going to go, guys. What do you reckon? Do you think, do you think Spurs are going to sell 45 million now? Second bid come in. Be interesting to see with that one. To be honest, I don't know. I mean, if he's that good, Spurs should be really keeping him, setting up a loan move. But these kids, keeping these kids for tomorrow or next year or the year after. Spurs need to move away from this, this youth project. We need players for the here and now. Zerbi's here to win now, I think. I don't think he wants kids. So we're going to get into it a little bit later on in the stream. Big up to Soko Teacher. How are you, man? What did you make of Brazil's first performance? I think they're playing over the weekend. I think so. It was a draw, wasn't it, against Morocco? When are they playing, actually, guys? Let's have a little look at the fixtures there, because I'm sure they're coming up. Because it's Morocco-Scotland tonight. So their game must be probably in the early hours. Let's have a little look when their game is. Oh, it's actually tomorrow, yeah. So Haiti, 1:30. Okay, so this is in the early hours, isn't it, of the UK time? Man, surely that's going to be a nice big victory for you there, man. Surely. Look, let's get into it. Let's get straight into it, guys. Big up to everyone in the chat. I'll put the link here. If anyone wants to come on and join me, by all means, click the link, come in, have a chat with me. Just going over the stories of the week with Spurs. Smash the like button, and if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. Thank you very much. So let's start off with some truth, guys. I think let's start off with some facts in the show. What has actually happened? What can we actually talk about, which is real? This has happened. We can have a conversation about it properly. So let's start off with the actual fact of the week. I think let's get the information up on this case. On this case. I'm like I'm at work talking about cases. This story here. Let's get it up on the screen, ready for you guys. Where are you? Here we go. Van Hecke signs 52 million. Hype level here is 7 out of 10. And this is a story what actually happened. This is real. This has gone through. Spurs coming in with a third bid, 52 million. And Zerbi has got his man. This is not Lange. This is not Lange. This is Zerbi requesting the player. And he's got his guy. And Van Hecke is calling Zerbi a father figure. Guys, what do you think of this signing? Do you like it? Do you like him? Do you think it's going to improve us? Do you think he's going to be the new starting left back now? Sorry, starting right back next to Van der Ven? Is that the end of Christian Romero? Is he going to be sold? Or are we going to have two centre backs fighting for that position? Now, there was something I saw in one of the WhatsApp groups saying that Romero is going to be looking for a move. We've heard a bit of talk about Manchester United in for him. There'll be quite a few clubs interested in him. When I clicked the link and went into X, I'm not convinced if that actually came from Romano. I did check his posts and I couldn't see it, so I don't know if that's true. Got to be so careful with these links, guys. You really do. So, guys, are you happy with the signing? The price? Are you happy with the price? Some people say it's too expensive, being in the last year of his contract. We've all heard what Simon Jordan has said on TalkSport, saying, Spurs have had their pants pulled down. I don't agree, really, guys. I don't. And whatever people think about the fee, I think we just got to pay it. That's what Brighton wanted. Zerbi wants a player. It can't be messing around. This is what happened under Daniel Levy. They lost out on so many players because he was penny pinching, and I'm pleased he's actually gone through with it. I know there's a year left in his contract, but we've got to pay. If you want to buy quality players, you've got to pay the price. Can't mess about. Get him in and move on to the next one. Zerbi wanted him. So let's see how he gets on next season. And he probably will be starting if Romero is sold. Let's go to the chat, see what people are saying about the Van Hecke signing. Let's have a little look here. Big up to everyone who's joined us. Smash the like button. Psycho Teacher, I haven't been watching the World Cup, waiting for the knockout stages. Yeah, so you're not interested in these knockout games. I enjoyed the England game the other night. I thought it's quite enjoyable for a change watching England. Normally England are so boring, but actually it was an enjoyable game. It was a bit iffy at the back, but plenty of goals. I actually enjoyed that game. I'm not getting in the hype train with England, no winning it, but like some have. Big up to Conte's Ketchup. How are you doing? Hey, mate, we had our pants pulled down for sure. It's stupid paying that money with only 1 year left. Yeah, I know some fans have said this. We heard what Simon Jordan said. But, we need quality players, man. Just pay the money. I heard initially they wanted 70 million. I thought that was a bit crazy for they think he's that good, 70 million. But look, we just got to pay it. We've got to pay it. We paid it now. Move on to the next one. Big up to Colin. How you doing, Colin? If Spurs, we would go for Wharton and Tonali and end up with Hackney unless the Leopard has changed his spots. Well, we're all waiting here, guys. We're all waiting. Talk about Tonali and Fernandes, which we'll get into not too long. It's dumb. You don't do that when he said he only wants Spurs. Look, man, I get it. But thinking of how Spurs have behaved in this transfer market over the years, always kind of trying to get the best deal possible, missing out on players. And to be honest, it's not my money at the end of the day. We need to improve the squad, and I think he's a good player. I think he will improve us. Big up to Aussie Ange. Next season, we're making top 6 and winning the FA Cup. Well, I don't know about that, but fair play. That's your prediction, man. Fair play. Winning the FA Cup. I'd love to win the FA Cup. I'd rather Spurs go all in the cups, not rest players. Try and win a trophy. not too worried about qualifying for Champions League. We're not ready to play in the Champions League. I'd rather us try and win a cup, try and finish as high as possible in the league, and just stop these embarrassments. Like the last couple of seasons, it's been shocking, isn't it? Defeat after defeat, football's been crap. Yeah, I just want a bit of normality, winning games, playing some better football, and try and win a cup rather than I have to rest players because we're pushing for Champions League spots. I know what the club will be wanting. They'll want Spurs to finish in the Champions League, but I'd rather us go for the cups. What do you reckon, guys? Give us your thoughts in the chat. I'm sure some will agree, some will disagree. Codze's Ketchup says, no, you don't. No, you don't. Nothing. Sorry. No, you don't got to do nothing. If the players have chosen your club for a transfer, fair enough. You wait it out and get him and knock down price. Yeah, it would have been a free, wouldn't he? If he didn't re-sign. So, yeah, I don't know, man. We wanted him, we got him. It is what it is. Brighton have just made their own numbers up. They're casting spells on other clubs to buy their players. Well, this is what I mean, isn't it? Like, they're in for Vukovic. Spurs can, they can put the price up, can't they? Don't have to sell for 45 million. They could play the same sort of game and keep some money back. Colin says, Levy paid 35 million for Biss. Did he get his pants pulled down? Well, he was terrible, wasn't he, Basuma, in the end? So such a disappointment, wasn't he? He really was. That's it. I've gone over the chat. Yeah, guys, Van Hecke. Yeah, good player for Brighton the last couple of seasons. Passing out from the back. Look, how do you think he's going to get on in the team next to Van der Ven? Do you think he's kind of an improvement? I think he's more reliable than Romero, I think. Not many injuries, I don't think. I think he's played a lot of games. I know he's suffered this eye injury playing in the World Cup. But, yeah, good age as well, 26. I don't think he's going to be more reliable than Romero. The thing with Romero, just a bit of a loose cannon, isn't he, really? I've kind of had enough of Romero, to be honest. Good player on his day, fantastic player on his day, but he can, I'm just fed up with all the kind of the inconsistencies from Romero. Do you agree, guys, or do you think we should keep Romero and have him competing for that right centre-back spot? Really, it would be good to have two kind of ball-playing centre-backs there, wouldn't it? Although Van Hecke's seems to be much better at passing out the back than Romero, as the stats say. But look, interesting, isn't it? And with Van der Ven as well, does it necessarily mean that he's going to start now with Senesi joining? Are they going to be fighting out for that left centre-back position? It's going to be interesting, isn't it? But it's good to have that competition in the squad. And we'll find out what happens with Romero. We've got Danzo there as well. Obviously can't do what Zerbi wants in that passing out the back way, but he's a good, solid defender, comes in, does a job. Yeah, very committed, good in the air. And yeah, and he's also counts as a homegrown player, so we need him in the squad. Liam is saying, big up to you, Liam. No, Romero needs to go. Yeah, I think so. Conte's Ketchup said Romero needs to move to an ambitious club. He's too good to be here at this level. And I know Conte's Ketchup, you always seem to be a fan of Romero. Yeah, I know. I remember what you say about him. You always liked him. But with him, I don't know, the injuries as well hasn't helped. He's got quite a few injuries, sent off a few times. I just don't think he's a reliable captain. Yeah, you could put a lot down to his kind of the changing managers, changing formations, systems hasn't helped the game. But good players, they shine through. And I just think Romero, I don't know. Yeah, I think it's time to move on. But both parties, I think. But it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. Big up to One Spurs King. How are you doing? No one was saying anything about pants being pulled down until TalkSport said it proves that people are sheep and can't form their own opinions. Fair enough, man. Was it Levy sent him a little text, isn't it, in the TalkSport studio? What was it? Was it Ben Foster caught him out, didn't he, on it? Levy defending, not Levy, sorry, Simon Jordan defending Levy. Yeah, look. Time will tell with Enoch, isn't it? Now these changes they've made of getting rid of Levy, if they're really going to change. I'm not convinced yet. But look, a lot of fans are getting carried away with the whole, things are going to be different. Nothing's changed yet for me. And even with one really good transfer window, that's not going to be enough evidence for me. I'm going to need to see this multiple transfer windows with, this recruitment improving, shifting out the players that are not good enough, and time will tell, guys. Colin says, I think De Zerbi will play a back three, Senense, Van Hecke. That is a useful combination, best in Prems. He's very happy with those centre-back options. Of course, there's a possibility, right? And people even say Van der Ven could play left-back as well, like he does for his national team. Options, isn't it? That's what you need. You need to have different options. You need to have strength and depth. And now they kind of sorted that back line out now. I think so. They'll be moving on to that midfield. A lot of talk about players, but yeah, until I see him holding up that shirt, I'm not convinced yet. Liam says he's so focused on the international scene. I don't think his priorities are right for us yet. There's always been that conversation, isn't it, about Romero? Suddenly he's fit for Argentina. Yeah, but you've got to remember, guys, Spurs, they've just been a mess, haven't they? They've been a mess. Yes, we won the Europa League, but disgraceful 17th place finishes. The recruitment's not been good enough. It's been terrible, isn't it? Especially in the last couple of seasons, and yeah, a lot to sort out. And this is what I mean with the kind of the fan base getting on the hype train with all these transfers and that things are changing and Spurs are moving differently. I don't buy it yet. Let's see what this final transfer window looks like. Let's see what it looks like. Let's see if we filled the positions that we need in this squad. Let's see if they moved on some players who are clearly not good enough. And we'll take it from there. And if it's a good window, then we'll say, okay, maybe it's a start. But this has got to be proved window after window, guys, 100%. Aussie Ange, he's saying, I have put a cheeky bet on us to win the Premier League title to Leicester City. They finished on 41 points, minus 9 goal difference in 2015. Then the impossible happened. Let's copy them. Aussie Ange, man. Yeah, very optimistic, but I don't think so. Look, we finished 17th 2 seasons running. Got to be realistic. And I did a video, I think it was yesterday or the day before, can't remember now, about just expectations. Just be sensible. Don't, talking about top 5 title challenges is it's just dream world. It's dream world stuff. It's based on nothing. Yes, De Zerbi's a good manager. Yes, we might improve the squad, but we can't just jump from 17th finish to challenging for the title. Could we finish top 5? It's not impossible, but look who we finishing above. This is it. All those teams that finished above us last season, they'll be improving their teams. Their managers been there longer. They'll have aims to finish in that top 5, top 6. Maybe a couple want to go for the title. Really don't know what City are going to look like under what's his name, Maresca. Areola joining Liverpool. It's going to be different, isn't it, next season? Obviously, Arsenal want to win the title again. Chelsea have got Alonso, but, I can't see much action going on in the transfer market for them. They seem to be selling players. Don't know what they're going to look like. So you've got Aston Villa. Are they going to improve in the summer? So there's so many teams far ahead of us. And you just got to be really careful with your predictions. I guess I know people want to be positive and optimistic, but we've got to be realistic here. This team is, it's terrible. It's been terrible the last couple of seasons. And yes, we're signing some better players, but there's such a long way to go. We need midfielders, we need strikers, we need wingers, we need creativity, we need output. Yeah, we need killers. We need people who are going to put the ball in the net. If we're having a bad game, who's gonna get that winner? Do you know what I mean? Who's going to step up and get that goal? And at the moment, we haven't signed anyone in that forward area and in midfield as well. I know there's been transfer links, and we'll move on to that in a minute. Let's go to the chat. I think Conte's Ketchup says, I think we'll get taken apart against opposition set pieces. Yeah, and this is it, isn't it? Like, the centre-backs we have are not fantastic in the air. There is that danger. But I think we're going to have a lot of the ball. If we can get the right couple of midfielders in there in this window, then we're going to have a lot of the ball. and I think we're going to create chances as long as we get those attackers in. And I think a lot of teams we will dominate. So the more we got the ball, the more chance we got to win. But yes, of course, we may be susceptible to set piece goals. I remember De Zerbi's Brighton team. I'm sure they conceded some set piece goals as well, and that's just the way his teams play, isn't it? Nothing's going to be perfect, right? Let's say evening to Lynn. How you doing, Lynn? Evening to you. Hope you're well. Just catch a breath. Have some coffee. Lynn says, I know Van Hecke was at Brighton. The only concern I have is now how close he is to De Zerbi. Will he drop him if he is not playing well, or we still play? Well, you hope that if that goes out of form, De Zerbi will make a change there, and and put someone else in if he's underperforming. You really hope so. I don't think he's the sort of bloke who messes about De Zerbi. He wants to win. Very passionate guy. Done an amazing job to keep Spurs up at the end of the season there. He really did, because we were down. Liam says it's quite possible that De Zerbi does what he does at other club. He's done at other clubs and throws a hissy Conte style fit. We have to give him the steering wheel, but he's a bit of a mental case, I fear. Yeah, of course, he's got a history of blowing up at clubs. But look, this board, Enoch, Vinay, Lange, they seem to be, giving him players that he wants, I think, so far. I mean, re-signing Ben Davies, don't understand it. I think that's a waste of a squad position. Robertson, I have my doubts on, but we will see about him. I wanted us to go for a top left back, someone better than a doggy. But, the problem is, what other people have said is we sound salsa, didn't we, in the January transfer window, and it kind of messes it up a bit, doesn't it, really, because they've invested in a young left back and want to see if he's going to be any good. So they brought in Robertson in there for experience, leadership. Maybe they think he can get a couple of years out of him. It'll be kind of, competing with Udogie. Udogie can't stay fit, guys, can he? Just be honest, he can't stay fit. Flat as to deceive. Maybe De Zerbi will get more out of the player. Maybe he can stay fit, but I don't know, guys. Honestly, I don't know. Big up to Matt. How you doing, Matt? How you doing? Link is in the pin to the top of this chat. If anybody wants to join us tonight, please feel free. Come and pop in and say hello. Big up to Tom as well. How you doing, Tom? How are you? Hope you're well. And one Spurs King says Arsenal, City, Liverpool, Villa will be top 5. After that, anybody can finish 6th place. Newcastle, Chelsea, as much in a mess as us at the moment. Yeah, I agree, man. And look, it's not impossible that Spurs don't finish in a Europe position. But I've given up on predicting. I've given up after the last couple of seasons. I'm not going to predict anything. Look, I don't think we're going to be in another relegation battle. I think we will be better next season. But look, there's a lot to prove for me. Really, De Zerbi got to get his squad in place before the start of the season. We've seen the fixture list, which we'll go over later as well. Some of those early fixtures, and a lot of business needs to be done before it kind of gives me any confidence, to be honest, because this squad is just nowhere near good enough. Let's go to the chat. Let's keep going before we move on to the next bit of news. Do we expect De Zerbi to win all the trophies like he did at his previous job? And this is it, Scott, isn't it? De Zerbi hasn't won anything. He hasn't. I think there was one cup in one of his early managerial jobs. I can't remember the name, but he's yet to prove it, isn't he, De Zerbi? He went to Marseille, Brighton. Now he's at Spurs, who, Spurs are not known for winning trophies. We'll see. He's got a lot to prove, isn't he, Scott, De Zerbi? He's got a lot to prove, but a lot of it's going to be down to this recruitment, isn't it? It's got to be so much better starting this window and then future windows. We've got to shift out a lot of these players who are never going to be good enough for the club. And it's not easy. They've just got rid of Basuma so far. Don't seem to be many clubs, lining up for these Spurs players. That's the worry for me. We're just going to have to be brutal and just tell them, you're not going to get any game time, so find another club. We've got to do it somehow. We've got to find some space for some better players. And we're not going to get it all done in this window. I know that. I'm realistic. It's not all going to get done. but they've got to make a good start of it. They really do. Just keep going with the chat. Big up Spurs King. He's saying Thomas Frankie is so good. They got him analysing long for hours. Saw that. That's crazy, isn't it, man? He's a bit of a laughing stock now, isn't it? They call him the PE teacher, don't they? Big up to Ellie. How you doing, Ellie? I hope we get all our targets. I have to see you chatting a little bit further on. Yeah, I hope we do, Ellie. But you know what? It's very hard, isn't it, to get these top players in. We ain't got European football. You know, are they going to come to Spurs? We'll wait and see. I think we've signed a couple of good players so far. But yeah, a lot more work to do, as I said. He won a cup in, sorry, I don't know what that is, Scott, you said there. Ilorani. Is that a team? I never heard of him. Big up to Terry. How you doing, Terry? How are you? Tom says Roberto saved us. He 100% did. Tom says Frank was absolutely trash. Scott says West Ham saved us. Big up, Scott. Losing to Sunderland and Chelsea, drawing versus Leeds didn't save us in any way. Dear. Look, come on, Scott. Zerbi won some games, didn't he? You've got to remember what was happening before. What's his Tudor couldn't win a game, Frank couldn't win a game, and you know, Zerbi came in and yeah, maybe it coincided with the return of Bentancur and the change of the keeper, Kinski. I'm sure that impacted on us, you know, being better as well. But yeah, there's that stuff. But that season, man, it's just horrible, wasn't it? Last season. Lynn says, I still think that De Zerbi holds all the cards. If he doesn't get what he wants, then his pay packet to walk away will think of all his Xmas to comes all at once. Man, he is on so much money, De Zerbi. Spurs threw so much money. I don't know. Is he the second highest paid manager in the Premier League now? How does he justify that salary? Really, as like Scott said, he hasn't won anything. Well, for a major team anyway. It's madness. But Spurs were desperate, weren't they? They were desperate for a good manager to come in and, you know, and keep us in the league. And I like De Zerbi, I do. But again, you know, we're Spurs. We've just fallen off, haven't we, so much? You know, since Pochettino's gone, yeah, the club has been so inconsistent, so many issues. And I just don't have any faith in this ownership, I'm afraid. Scott says our dumb fans blame the manager when we were 17th for 2 seasons. That's how stupid our fans are. Blame managers when players are dog shit under every manager. Scott, you're going for it, man. Come and join us, man. Get involved with the chat. Good to get you on. Ukraine at Shakhtar. Sorry, yeah. 100%. And one Spurs King says, remember when Scott put Thomas Frank as his profile bit last season? You didn't, Scott. I didn't see that. You're joking with me. Oh my days. Before he came to troll Ange fans. Yes, I remember that. Oh my God. And then says, yes, Dan, but they weren't given a huge bonus to get us over the line, didn't he? He got what, 3 million, didn't he, for keeping us up in the end? It's mad stuff, madness. Look, let's move on to the next story of the week. I'm sure you're all eager to find out. We all know it, but let me just bring up the next story of the week. Let's go. Let's have a look. So here we go. Here, Tonali. Yes, and look, you see how I put there, Tonali, 90+ million, and in big red letters, no bid. Hype level 8 out of 10. Top player, huge fee, no bid. But you know, you would think that Spurs have already got the player the way the fan base is carrying on, right? Sure, we haven't got him. We haven't made a bid yet. It's just that we're in talks with him, with his agent. You know, he's willing to go. I just don't like this. I really don't like this story, how it's come out. I'd rather it just Spurs just made the bid, get the player announced if he was going to come. All this putting it out in the press just makes me think, is it the agent trying to, you know, get other clubs involved in the bidding war? You know, is it, you know, because Tonali probably could go to a better club than Spurs, 100%. Let's talk about City entering the race, but they're going for Anderson. Are they really going to splurge, you know, almost 200 million and more on 2 midfielders? I don't think so. But I haven't seen any other teams strongly linked to Tonali. So we'll have to wait and watch that play out. And why has there been silence since kind of this story break? Are they in a negotiations with Newcastle? We just don't know, do we, guys? We don't know what is going on here. Do you think there's guys, and I'll go to the chat in a minute. Do you think there is a possibility that he could join Spurs because he's going to cost 90 plus million? Yeah, I think he's a top player. I think he's a player that's going to improve our midfield. Oh, and of course, there's talk from the fan base that he's not the player that we need, which I just think is madness. He's a player that straight away comes in and improves the starting 11. I really like the player, and people were worried about him not being an out and out passer, like an Adam Wharton, somebody who can dictate games. And it's just crazy stuff, isn't it? We need more than one midfielder, guys. We need two midfielders before the start of the season. And I'm just not convinced that Spurs are going to go out and spend 90 million on one player. We've never done it before. I hope they bloody do, right? But I really have my doubts if we're going to do it. Guys, I'm sure you've made some comments already. I'll have a look in the chat, but what do you think of Tonali? Do you like the player? Do you think this is going to go through, or do you just think it's just unrealistic from Spurs? Let's go to the chat and see what people are saying here in the chat. Let's have a look. Terry says Arsenal reportedly moving in for Tonali. I don't know. I haven't seen anything solid. I think it was Romano did say, let me just take this down from the screen, this picture. Hold on. They did say initially that other clubs were in for him. And I think City's name was mentioned and Arsenal. And there's been a bit of talk that Arsenal are interested in Manu Kone, which is another really good player, which I'd have at Spurs. But I don't know, guys. What do you reckon with Tonali? Do you think Spurs are going to splash out that amount of money? Zerbi says he wants him, he likes him. He's open to the move to Spurs. Interesting, right? Wonder what Newcastle are thinking with this one. Obviously, it's a lot of money. They can go in and probably buy two midfielders for that amount of money. If it falls through, if we don't get him, there's plenty of other good midfielders out there Spurs can get hold of. But there is a bit of a theme, isn't there? There is a bit of a theme that Spurs are kind of sticking to Premier League players who played in the Premier League, know the league. You can see that pattern quite early on. They're not looking abroad so much. Not saying they won't go there, because there are some really great players abroad, probably cheaper prices on less wages. Spurs could offer them a good salary, playing the Premier League, tempting Zerbi and his new Spurs project. But Tonali is a player, yeah, I really like him, and I think he'll come in and he will improve our midfield. I'm going to talk a little bit about our midfield a little bit more in depth shortly as well, especially with the Fernandes links, which we'll go on to soon. And also the talk around the fan base of we need this passer, this what do you want to call it, speciality, or just that's his main part of the game, just passing like a Wharton, I guess. And I'm going to go into that a little bit more depth in a little while. Let's go to the chat and see what people are saying still. Smash the like button, guys, if you could. Really helps the channel. Anybody new watching, just sub. It'll be really helps the channel, guys. Just got a message from the one of the three amigos, the Cookie, having a great time out there, Nige and Sheriff. Let me hold on 1 second. Jump on and join the fun. Yeah, they might pop on and have a chat with us. Let's go to the chat and see what people are saying. Here we go. Spurs Kings, bit of banter going on in the chat there. Lynn says, Dan, this morning Arsenal signed him this morning, as far as I saw breaking news. They've got him for 80. What? What's this? Is this a joke? Who have they signed? This must be fake stories on the transfer show. His shirt had number 8 on it. Lynn, I don't know what this is. I think you're on a wind-up, aren't you, with me? So, Canada and Spurs fans pick a struggle, mate. Still a little bit going on in a little batter in the chat there going on. Big up to Guy, mate. How you doing? Where are you? Where are you? Still on the barbecue? Drinking the bourbon, right? Oh, mate. How are you getting on over there? How are you getting on? So Scott says a bad combo. Tom says England Spurs is equally terrible. Yeah, it's terrible in it being a fan of Spurs and England. Boring kits too. Talk about the new kit, Tom. I would love Tonali, but I think we're in dreamland. Look, it would be a huge shock, isn't it? If we get a player like Tonali over the line, it would be a big shock. Bit of a statement, isn't it? Because Spurs just don't spend that money. Getting a proven Premier League player in his prime, good player. I like him. I just until he's holding out that shirt, I'm always going to be doubtful. But as I said, I don't know if you guys, I'm sure some of you guys in the chat watched the show last Friday. We were going over midfielders. There's so much quality out there. There's no excuse for Spurs not to go and sign 2 top midfielders before the start of the season. No excuses. We can get rid of the likes of Saar and Bergvall. Here that teams are in for Bergvall. Yeah, I'm not too fast. Really not too fast. If he stays or goes, loan him. Can loan him, sell him. Gray as well, another one. I've got patience for all these youth projects now. And I've seen these guys play, and to be honest, not great, are they? I know they're young and they need to develop, and they've come in playing for Spurs under different managers, different systems. A player like Archie Gray, I have a little bit of sympathy, I guess. Shoved at centre back, shoved at left back, shoved at right back. Yeah, all over the place, in and out the team. Sure, yeah, it hasn't helped his development. Maybe he's best off going on loan. But then I hear that Zerbi wants to keep him because he sees him as a utility player, which is cool. That's not exactly going to help his development, is it? He needs to nail down a position. He needs a loan. Bergvall too. Go and play for another team. Play every week. See what you're actually made of. Because we need experience in this team. We need players who know what they're doing. Are not going to mess about. And I just hope that is the way forward now under De Zerbi. I really do. Ellie says to Tom, we can't be any worse. And De Zerbi, we know what players he wants. I just hope he gets a proper window with all the weak positions filled. 100% Ellie, we've got to fill these positions. I don't think we're going to get them all done, but we've got to make a good start. Yeah, Lynn was winding me up. I thought you was thinking, what's going on, Lynn? I know it's late. It's tired. I'm tired. I've had a long day. Not completely switched on. Big up to Jimmy. How you doing, Jimmy? Hope you're good. He's saying hello to the chat as well. Yeah, thank you for everyone for being here tonight. Really appreciate it. Tom says, Ellie, yeah, well, at least we can have half a dozen and then we go again. One window won't do it. No, it's going to be multiple windows to improve the level of this squad to make us a really competitive side. Go back to the days under Pochettino, when we were winning a lot, playing good football. And yeah, that's the kind of gauge, isn't it? That's what we want to get back to. I want Spurs to push on from that. I want Spurs to win the league and win cups more regularly, buy the best players. But under this ownership, I don't think it will ever happen, even with this kind of all their talk about they're going to change. Time will tell. I don't believe these owners. I really don't. They've got a lot to prove. And this whole kind of financial thing, war chests, 300 million Spurs can spend, 400 million. Spurs can spend this window due to the change of the rules. And a lot of money. But will that continue, though, in future windows? This is it. Or will they just go back to type? Who knows? 1-0. 1-0 Morocco. Is that it? So they're playing Scotland, right? Are they going to winning against Scotland? How's Robertson playing? Spurs Kings, keeping an eye on that game. Morocco scored. Yeah, I think it's that striker, right? Isn't it that striker who's gone to Bayern Munich have signed? I think he's the guy who got the goal. Let me double check. I think so. Yeah, I think so, guys. Correct me if I'm wrong, but Bayern Munich has signed that. I think they've signed that striker who scored. Could be wrong. I'm sure, maybe it is. Jimmy says, Zerbi ain't got no time for youth projects. Seems, look, youth projects are over, man. Always buying for the future. It's not worked. We've got to buy good players, quality players. Terry says, I've seen this movie before and it's a horror flick. So, guys, just going back to Tonali, just give us, do you think it's going to go through, yes or no? Or, yeah, what do you reckon, guys? It's crazy, isn't it? Like, fan base went in meltdown, didn't it, when that news broke that Spurs were in talks with Tonali? No bid, though. Spurs, what you doing? If you want the player, go and make a bid. Find out what Newcastle want, make a bid, get a deal done, bring him to Spurs. What are we waiting for? Hey, what are we waiting for? Scott says he's a left winger but plays as a striker for Morocco. I didn't know that. Yeah, he's a new striker. Cheers, One Spurs King. Appreciate that. No chance. Scott doesn't believe we'll get Tonali. But if you just kind of delved into the online social media, YouTube, X, it's like we've signed him. It's like we signed him already. Hold on one second. Top of chat. Just sending Cookie the link. He's going to join us and see how he is. I haven't spoke to him for a while. Find out how he's getting on his holiday. 1 second, guys. Just bear with us. Let me just send him the link. Invite, copy. Here we go. See how he is. Join us in a minute. Give us a bit of company. Talk Spurs. Terry, 100 million is too much for this ownership to invest in the player. Well, never happened before, Terry, has it? And they say, and many fans have said, Spurs fans, rival fans, Spurs need to start spending this type of money on players. They've got to get the best players, and that's how much they cost. And Spurs have got to start doing it. But can they keep that up? Can they spend £100 million, £90 million on a player every window? I don't think so. Jimmy says, I don't believe we'll get Tonali. His agent will just be putting the info out there. He's going to leave. Yeah, that's true. This is why I don't like it, Jimmy, about this kind of, who was it who announced it first? Was it Ornstein, was it? Or was it Romano? I can't remember. But both have spoke about it since. I just don't like it. Just if they want the player, just get it done. Yeah, just this kind of, setting up the fan base that, we're in for the player, fan base get carried away, fan base get excited, and then it just falls through, and it's just so unnecessary. Go to Newcastle, make that offer, and if they can't agree a price or whatever, then move to somebody else. There are other players as good as Tonali out there. The thing is obviously proven, so you know what you're going to get. It's always a risk going abroad and bringing in one of these kind of talented players. But if Spurs do their job properly, really kind of scout the player that they want to bring in for Europe, really get their evidence together, really make sure that player can do it in the Premier League. Players come over from Europe all the time and do well. Yeah, so I know we've had a few flops from Europe over the years, and Dembele naming one of them. The South side wasn't successful, very injury prone, wasn't he? We've had our bad signings for Europe, but we've also had some really good signings as well. But Spurs, consistently they haven't done well over the years is actually signing players in their peak, signing players that are going to come in and impact the team straight away and improve the first team. And this is something that's going to improve massively moving forward. Big up to Craig. How you doing, Craig? Hope you're well. Hope you're okay, man. Jimmy is, I prefer Bruno anyhow. Bruno Fernandes, We'll talk about him in a minute. Big up to Junior in the chat. We have a chance. Let's believe. Look, man, I'd be so happy if we signed Tonali. I really would, but I've just been here so many times. We've all been here so many times. Spurs fans are being let down with, thinking we're going to get a top player. We had it last season with Morgan Gibbs-White, Eze. Completely blew up in our face, didn't it? That these players, didn't come to Spurs. And we even had the here we go for Morgan Gibbs-White, didn't we? And it all just went tits up. Terry reckons we'll end up with Hayden Hackney. This is the worry. Big up to Vol. How you doing? 127. Even if we're serious about spending 100 million, once we get to that amount, bigger clubs are always going to come out on top. Of course, bigger club comes in, pays the same what Spurs going to play. He's going to offer the player more. But just put it like this: say if City do sign him, is he going to play? Is he going to play in front of Rodri, Anderson, which they just should be getting? Any other there midfield? They moved on Silva, right? Haven't they? Is he going to play Tonali? I think he probably will. I think Rodri, he's coming to an end now, isn't he, of his career? Probably is space for him. But either Arsenal, Declan Rice. Is he going to play in front of Declan Rice? Is he going to play in front of what's his name? What's that Spanish midfielder's name? Forgot his name now. But is he going to play? I don't know, guys. This is what it is. Spurs can offer him first team football. Maybe that gives us a slight advantage. There's the Italian link as well, which I don't entirely buy, just because they're Zerbi and Tonali Italian and some from the same city or something. I heard. So I don't know. Yeah, Scott says hard to see why Tonali would want the massive downgrade to Spurs. I don't know, Scott. We'll see, eh? We'll see. Mr. Wenger out. Evening to you, Mr. M. How you doing, man? Our owners or owners paying the money for him, but this is it. Like, if it falls through, and then we find out that Spurs don't match what Newcastle want, we will know, and it will, and it won't look good on this ownership, will it? Trying to impress the fans, trying to get the fans back on board. I mean, with the action so far, ENIC have already got many on board. They've forgotten about the last couple of seasons. They're all very happy, the fan base so far. Not everyone, but a certain section of them are very optimistic. And they get on the hype train. But not me and not many in this chat. I know a lot of you in this chat are very ENIC out. And then you're not convinced by this board. This ownership. Vinay Lange is still here. What's going on with the director of football, eh? All gone quiet. Struggling, aren't they, Spurs? Struggling to get in a new DOF or somebody who's going to run the football operations. Lange is there, but Zerbi looks like he's scouting the players. That's what it looks like, doesn't it? And then you have fans thinking, oh, we can't go on like this. We've got to have a sporting director of football making the decisions. We can't just let Zerbi make all the decisions. What do we want, guys? We want the manager to pick the players he wants. So we don't want to have club players coming. We don't want that. We've seen this fail so many times. We want the manager well involved with the recruitment, and I'm sure somebody in that recruitment team are kind of coming up with players to deserve it. He's probably saying, what do you think of this one? He's available, he meets all the data, and he does what you want on the pitch. I'm sure that is all going on, but who's making the final call in the club with signings now? Who's the main man? Is it Zerbi now? Have they given him the keys to the castle? Has he earned that for keeping Spurs up? It's all a bit mad, isn't it? Biker Yid has joined us. Let's bring in Biker Yid to the stage. How you doing, man?
How you doing, brother? You all right?
Yeah, how you doing? How you coping with the heat?
It's very hot. Listen, we've already got the director of football. It's been announced this evening.
Who's that?
The guy's called
Not the bloke from City. He's not the director of football.
Yeah,
He's
Carlos
just,
Rafael Mawson as a director of football operations.
is it? Let's have a look.
Yep.
I knew he was coming. I knew he was
on the
coming.
club, mate. It's on the club website.
Yeah. All right. Let's have a look. Let's look this up. He's the new. He's the what? Sporting director of football. Yeah. You sure?
Yes.
Okay. Hold on. Let me have a look. Let's have a look.
So I was watching the Scotland game, listened to you as well, and I thought, hang on a minute, we've already got a director of football.
Is that right, chat? Spurs signed a director of football.
See it?
Let's have a look. No, he's a director of football operations. He's not. It's a different position.
Carlos,
sorry,
director of football operations. Oh, is that different? Is it?
Yeah.
Known as Rafi, he joins from Citigroup, where he spends more than a decade as senior roles across global role, mostly recently playing a central role in player transactions as a director of football transactions.
We knew he was coming. We already knew this bloke was coming in January.
It's to do with the actual transactions, though.
It's not what you think, man. This is not the guy. We it's not the main man that we need to take over from Lange. He's slightly different. He's involved in all sorts of different operations across Spurs.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was just saying that he deals with in the actual central role in player transactions as a director of football transaction.
Yeah, but he's not the main guy. Yeah, we're still looking for a new director of football. We certainly am. Terry, Tonali will be a squad player for City and Arsenal. Yeah, possibly. Yeah, good player though, isn't he? You know, he may be able to get in the first teams there if he performs well. Nobody. It's me. Evening to you. 5 months left until GTA 6. I don't think that game's ever going to come out, right? They've been saying that game's going to be come out for years.
I've been playing a great game.
What's that?
It's a ghost hunting one. It's really good.
What's it called?
It's called. Just get it back on now. Just one moment.
Are you a gamer?
I don't mind it. It's called Demonology. It's great. Demonologist.
Yeah.
Superb. If you like jump games, that's a good game to play, man.
Jump games.
They attack you and things, yeah.
Scary.
Yeah, it's a great game. Demonologist. Superb.
Demonologist.
Yeah.
Fair enough, man.
Have a look at that if you like gaming. Yes.
Terry in the chat says, "Where's the new sporting director?" Absolute joke. Junior, Spurs can push some financial musical, so at least other clubs have to pay the dollar. 100%. Our director of football is Lange. That hasn't changed. This guy is a contracts guy to make sure all the clauses are correct. He doesn't identify a scout player. Okay, so
okay.
Yeah, the chat are just confirming what I thought. You surprised me there, Viking. You surprised me there.
Well, I don't quite understand it. That's fine.
Jimmy says we definitely need forwards. No links to any of them. No, nothing yet. It seems to be starting at the back, Jimmy, doesn't it? Starting at the back, now moving to midfield.
I saw a link. I saw a link for a Celtic player, Nygren. You had a look at him?
I don't look at any links unless it's from a real, genuine source, Buckyhead.
Yeah, okay.
I don't mess about. I don't give it any attention. Only if it's from like an Ornstein. Romano, even he's a bit unreliable, but at least you know there's some truth in that with him because he's one of the main guys. But I'm very, very cautious with transfer links. There's so many links out there which I won't entertain. Sorry, I don't do it. Other people do. People love it. The transfer window.
At the end of the day, we can only go by what we were seeing in the media, aren't we? You know what I mean? We don't know.
Yeah, what I'm trying to say is that other YouTubers,
you've got reliable people that you actually rely on.
Yeah, other people online on YouTube, they go with any story and they will talk about it because that's just what they do. They just content. They do content. I don't do that. I don't entertain it. If it's a solid link from an Ornstein, I'll talk about the player, but not all of these links that you see every day, which they never happen. They never will. Scott says he's a business guy. Volk127 says, I can imagine that Zerbi has sold the Spurs dream to Tonali, saying he'll be the main man there. So there is a chance. Got to dream big, aren't you? Well, Spurs they've got to change. They've got to change. They've got to change the way they're. Yeah, they've got to change
right at the moment.
Yeah, they've got to change their approach in the transfer market, and and follow through with what they've said. Look, let's go to Jimmy says he having a hydration break. It's caused a lot of controversy right in the World Cup. They say it's killing. They said it's killing games. Was it a game last night when I think Switzerland playing someone and the other team had a bit of momentum, and they had the hydration break, and then
they lost a lot, didn't they? Lost all the momentum.
Yeah, they lost all the momentum. Big up to Aspas Ted, Keen FC. And Terry says 99% of rumours are rubbish. Right, so Bikey, now we're going to the next story of the week. You ready?
Go on.
Next story of the week is, let's have a look now. Where are we? Okay, here we go. So this one came to light yesterday.
No, actually, not that money, mate.
Yeah, let me just run through it.
Go on.
Basically, Ornstein came out and says Spurs are interested in this player. I mean, it's even less linked than the Tonali link, because at least with Tonali there was talks about with him, and he's open to come. Talks with the agent. With this one, this is Spurs are interested in, and his priority. And if you look at the thumbnail here on screen, Tottenham, and you've got Manchester United. Manchester United are in for this player. Yeah. West Ham want 80 million for him. Hype level 8 out of 10. Everybody wants him. Nobody wants to pay. Nobody is going to pay 80 million for this player. He's 21 years old. Just got relegated with West Ham. Yeah. More realistic fee for a player like this would be around 60 million, I would say. Yeah, with his age. He's a good player,
How much did West Ham pay for him?
Oh, they paid him. They got him off Southampton, maybe 29 million.
There possibly. You go, and he's had a few games and didn't save them. And honestly, everyone's going, if Tottenham go down, they'll have a fire sale. This guy, he's done nothing, and he's £80 million player. I'm sorry, he's not. He's probably about 40 at the most, with add-ons, I suppose.
Okay, it's good. I like what you're saying, Kid, because you've got a different opinion of me, and I like that. Because I see it differently. I'm gonna break it down, the player a bit in a minute.
Okay.
I really am. I'm gonna break it down because when we're linked to a player, and I like the player. I do like the player. But when so when there's a kind of a more of a serious link, Ornstein link, I go and have a look. I don't think this deal's going to go through, by the way. I don't think it's going to go through. But I'm interested to look at this type of player, and then I kind of link it to the, what potential midfielders Spurs are currently looking at. So, Tonali, Fernandes, looking at the profile of the player, what they offer compared to the players that we have right now. Obviously, I did my whole kind of scouting and looking into players last Friday when I did my show, when I covered loads of different midfielders, which I feel can improve the Spurs team. So I'm kind of show it's more of a kind of football fan interest kind of thing. I enjoy looking into players, in depth, what they offer. Then I'll talk about it. And then I hope that Spurs would be doing the same, looking at some top European, top midfielders and try and buy them, because we need midfielders desperately. So just go back to this player. West Ham do want silly money for him. And Man United seem to be in for him, but they're not going to pay the 80 million. Now, if the price does drop, will Spurs go in for him? Possibly. If West Ham are willing to accept a lower fee. I don't know. They don't have to, do they? Do they have to? I'm sure they need to make some sell some players, dropping down. I don't know the ins and outs of West Ham's finances, but he's not worth 80 million. That's crazy. That is really crazy. So what I'm going to do now, Bikey, let me just go to the chat quickly. Bring in Anthony. Anthony wants to join us. How you doing, Anthony, mate? How are you?
Good luck, mate. How are you, Dan? You alright?
Yeah. How'd your stream go, man? Good?
It's right.
Yeah, very good. I did send people over to you, but I noticed in the chat earlier that no one said it. So chat, I'm very disappointed. All right?
Cheers, mate. Thanks for joining us. This Fernandes guy, Anthony. What's your thoughts on him? Is there a player that you like?
I'm not a massive fan, to be honest. And for 85 million, it's a bit steep, isn't it? I'm not, to be honest. I don't watch him every week, so I can't really judge on that. But what I've seen of him, I'm not a massive fan of his. But I'm a bit like on the camp where if Zerbi wants him, then I'm happy with it because I want Zerbi to be back. And if Zerbi sees him and something in him, and he actually wants the player, then I'm all for it.
Okay, say he weren't 80 million, say it was 50, 60 million. Would that change your thinking?
See, I still think there's better players. I still think there's better players out there, better options. I'm not a massive fan of his. But I've heard people say, "Yeah, he's a great player and stuff." But I personally don't see it. But like, I'd rather go an extra mile for like a Wharton or someone. But if that, I mean, at the end of the day, it's all, we can't 1 minute say, we want the Zerbi back, and then when he's, and if he's after a player, suddenly be like, no, we don't want that player, because as long as he wants him, that's the main thing, isn't it?
All right, fair enough. Let's go to the chat. Let's see what they're saying about this player before I go into it a little bit more.
Yeah.
Advertisement break, Terry says. Watching the World Cup. Cyril McCoy, how you doing? How you doing, man? Referee got cramp and needed treatment at the end of the USA game earlier. USA won, didn't they? 2 wins in a row. They qualified to the last 32. They beating Australia 2-0. Ellie says Morocco 1-0 up. How is Scotland playing? They struggling out there? They getting any chances, guys?
I watched the first sort of 15 minutes of it, and they are struggling big time.
Yeah.
Morocco all over them.
Good team. Good team.
That El Sabari is a player, isn't he? That Sabari. Wow.
The guy who scored, yeah?
Yeah, he's cracking. He's running the show.
Vol 127. He says Fernandes has stated he wants United. Remember Mbuemo. Yep. Could happen.
Thing is, though, Dan, sorry, I'll say, I've heard he wants United, but I've also heard United haven't got the funds or won't pay the money to get him.
They're not paying the money.
Yeah.
Big up, Scott.
Big up, Scott, mate. How you doing, mate? How are you?
Here we go.
You celebrating?
Good.
Mate? You celebrating that massive win in the World Cup?
Sure. I don't. Look, it's good for Canada. The reactions here have been embarrassingly over the top. So, I mean, look, I'll say credit to them. They played a weak opponent and they beat them like you have to do when you played a weak opponent. But
yeah,
Qatar was terrible, and they took advantage of that.
Didn't they have 2 men sent off? Didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, broke the leg, didn't he? Something.
Down to 9 men. So hey, credit. Canada, we don't win much, so we have to take it when we can get it, and they did what they had to do. But yeah, some people have been a little ridiculous with the reactions.
Is that striker Jonathan David any good? Is he any good, Scott?
I've said for a few years now, he would be perfect in a role where he's the first guy off the bench, your first attacker off the bench. Okay. A role kind of like, if you remember, and rest in peace, Diego Jota when he played for Liverpool. And they had everyone, and he would come on as their first. He would come on, and sometimes he'd play striker, sometimes he played left wing, sometimes he played right wing, kind of like what Trossard does, right, at Arsenal. That's what he would be perfect for because he is versatile across all 3 positions. But no, as our main striker, he's not clinical enough.
No,
He's an upgrade over Solanke and Richie, but he's not what we want.
He struggled, didn't he, at Juventus, Scott, isn't he? He's really struggled last season when he joined them.
But if you had a solid front line and he's the guy that comes in, and again, not, he comes in, maybe you're down or you're struggling and something's not working. You bring him in at 45 minutes. He's the guy that you bring on as a depth player. I don't want to say backup, but as a depth player, he's perfect for that role. Because he can score enough to do that. But you don't want to rely on him as your main striker.
Yeah,
he's not. He's not that level.
He's only had one good season in his career, hasn't he?
No, he had like 4 good seasons in France, but it's France, so you're always a little bit nervous, right?
You can only play.
But I think in Lyon he had like 4 seasons where he scored 15 plus goals.
Oh, okay.
I'd have to check. I could be wrong, but he's had more than one good season in France.
I know he had that really high scoring season. We saw like 21 goals for Lille or something. I thought that was the only season he'd where he had got those numbers.
I think it's the only season he's got over 20, but I think the other seasons he got 15 or so. But again, I don't think he's what you want to be your main striker.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough. And Fernandes, before I go into it a little bit more, Scott, initial thoughts on Fernandes?
Yeah, I mean, I'd like him. I think he's a good player. He's a profile player we really need. I know 85 million, I hear that, and it gets me nervous. That seems too much. But really, I think nowadays every price seems too much. And that's just the reality of how much prices have gone up so quickly in football, right? Like before we would say 100 million. No, like that's a crazy price. So now we've seen Isak went for over 100 million. Elliot Anderson is going to go for over 100 million. So more importantly than if we pay 85 million for him and then we go out and get 5 other good players around him, I don't care. My concern is, as we've seen in the past, is we pay 85 million for him and then that's our transfer window done. But I think he's the kind of player that we need. He's the kind of player that can control the ball, control the game. And I'd love a Wharton. I don't think he's realistic. I don't think Fernandes is realistic because he wants Manchester United so much and he fits what they need. So I think he's going to go to United. But if he doesn't and we could get him, I'd be very happy with him.
They're not going to pay the money, mate.
Thing is,
I think they will.
This slot on the this slot talking face to face is a nice slot. I mean, I don't like that slot. Is it who's always in my chat and stuff? But this slot I actually like.
It's the same thing. I said we're not going to get him. It's the same thing I say in the chat, right?
Yeah, it definitely is, man. Listen. Let's get into the Fernandes. I'll just go to the chat quickly before I go into it, and I've got a little bit to say about him and a bit about him and comparing him to Tonali, and I'll go into it in a sec. Terry says 8 million for Fernandes is madness. 60 million tops. I agree. 8 million is a lot for him. He's 21 years old. United won't pay 8 million for him. This is the thing. I don't think no one's gonna pay 80 million for him. It's unrealistic. And then it's really up to the player really to push a move out of the club, isn't it, from West Ham to get his move. Volt 127 says, what team wants Savinho? Only Spurs. I guess we'll know where he ends up. Just hope we don't overpay. Savinho, I'm not sure about, guys. I'm not sure about him, but maybe we'll talk about him a bit later. Terry says, this club needs to solve the problem of getting players out the door. 100%, Terry. We're not doing much, are we? Basuma's gone. That's his contract ended. That's all gone. Jimmy says, get Bowen for 35 to 40 million. That would be a good signing. I would take him. Cookie the Great entered the room. Let's bring in Cookie the Great. Cookie the Great.
Cookie the Great.
Are you, Sheriff, are you all right, guys? Are you sober?
Cookie the hungover.
No, we're not sober, Dan. We're not going to ruin your stream or anything like that, by the way. We're a bit merry, Dan. Put it that way.
That's all good. That's all good.
You're the merry men.
Where's Nigel, mate? Where's the final guy of the Three Amigos? Where is he?
Are you going in? Go on. I'm going to go in. He's coming in now.
He's coming in.
Yeah, Sheriff's got no charge on his phone. That's why there's 2 of us sitting here.
Get Nigel on. Get Nigel on. I want to see a suntan.
He's coming in. He's coming in.
Yeah, I want to see a suntan.
What do you mean it's not letting? What? Oh, he's working on it. He's working.
He's meant to be had technology, and
maybe he's had a few. Maybe he's he's struggling.
One or two, I should think.
We've definitely had a few, mate. The old Jaeger bombs came out, mate. You know what?
It's got messy, has it?
Oh mate, I love a Jaeger bomb. Oh my God, they're beautiful.
I certainly don't.
Right, let's get back to the
one
chat.
often, but tonight was the drinking night. Sheriff has said to us, you know, it's about time you come out for a decent drink. So we went out, got a bit of nice food, very nice, and had a lovely evening out on the Lash.
Where's the blame on me?
Because you're just a Hugh, innit? Full stop. That's it.
Cheers, lads, for coming on. I'm glad you're having a lovely holiday.
Hold on a minute, I'll put the light on so you can see us a bit.
It's like you live in the pub, isn't it, Sheriff? That's what they're saying, isn't it?
No. Dan, sorry.
Yeah.
What's happening about selling players? What about Romero? Romero's still at the club, isn't he?
Yeah, there you go. Mark's been messing about with the bloody lights, you know.
Yeah. Right. We're there now. Yeah,
we're there.
Let's get back to the chat. Guys. Yes, Anthony. Yeah, maybe we'll get onto that a bit later. Has big up to you, Has. How you doing, man? He says I'm not keen on Fernandes, rather Wharton or Curtis Jones. Terry says Wharton is a midfielder we need. We need midfielders that can actually pass forwards, and this is what I'm going to talk about shortly. We have been linked with Sabaria. Is that right?
Sabari, the Moroccan centre.
He's going to Bayern.
He's gone to Bayern.
It's like done that he's going to Bayern.
He's gone to Bayern, guys. He's gone to Bayern. And Ellie with a little update on the Scotland match. Lively second. Scotland lively, much second best to negative sideways and back passing. Okay. And one Spurs King says United have the money but can't spend big until July the 1st, the new financial year. Okay, look, right. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to talk about Fernandes, right? I've got a little bit of information about him, and then we'll go over it, and then we can all kind of get involved in a debate about this midfield. Dilemma, not a dilemma, but you know, you all may have different opinions on it. So Fernandes, right? So people may compare him to Tonali. Some people have compared him to Palhinha. And after looking at his numbers, guys, he's neither, to be honest. Let's start off with Palhinha, okay? Because a lot of fan base want Palhinha signed. You know, they don't understand. He had a good season playing for Spurs and thinking, why aren't we snapping him up? But when we think about Palhinha, he is a specialist defensive midfielder, right? He's a ball winner. He's a destroyer, breaks up the play, gives the ball to somebody else, right? It's just, that's what he is, yeah? And to be honest, last season he was handy, right? He popped up with a load of goals. But the data really backs that up with him. Let me bring the data up and just go over it a little bit better. Nigel hasn't joined us yet. He's still struggling with the IT.
He's struggling to
what's going on in Nigel?
I don't know.
Right.
The map. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, there's the map. So there's the two players. There's Fernandes and Palhinha. Okay, all see that, guys? Okay.
Yeah.
So the one inside is Palhinha, and the other one is Fernandes. Right. Okay. So really, his Palhinha's ball winning is elite, right? Yeah, that's what you look at it. Really, really good winning the ball back. Okay, so when you compare him to Fernandes, it's a bit interesting because Fernandes is similar with winning the ball back, not as high, but it's so close, right? So Fernandes is winning a similar number of duels, and he's winning a similar amount of possession. Yet when he gets the ball, he's offering far more. Fernandes, he's got more progressive carries, more progressive passes, more key passes, a much higher forward passing percentage. So for me, Fernandes isn't a Palhinha. He's not a specialist six. So now let's look at Tonali. Okay, so let me get Tonali's chart up as well now. Let me get his up. Just bear with us. I've got them all on one, actually, I think. Let me go. Let's get this guy's chart up. Hold on. Okay. So
that's Fernandes and that's Palhinha.
Can you see everybody?
Yeah.
You're all with us. Okay, so Tonali is ahead of both of these players when it comes to progressing the ball. Yeah, more progressive carries, more progressive passes, more forward passings. He looks more comfortable moving the team up the pitch. That's his Tonali. But what Fernandes gives you is a more defensive output, more ball recoveries, more duel winning, more intensity. So again, I don't think Fernandes is a Tonali either. So when I see a midfielder somewhere in between, someone who can win the ball, someone who can carry it, someone who can progress it, someone who can create, and at 21 years old, it's quite an interesting profile, isn't it? So no wonder he's highly rated, and he's been linked to a few clubs. So which brings me to the bigger question, because Spurs are reportedly obviously looking at both players. They're not even one or the other. They said that they could go for both of them. And if this is true, I can see why. So positively, it improves Spurs, right? I think Tonali improves Spurs. I think Fernandes improves Spurs. But do they solve everything? Because when you look at both players, we see progression, we see ball winning, we see athleticism, we see intensity, but neither of them are elite progressive passers. They're not a midfielder like a Wharton who would dictate the game through possession. A midfielder who constantly breaks the lines with his passing. A midfielder who controls the rhythm of matches. So if Spurs signed Tonali and Fernandes, which is unlikely to happen, would that midfield be complete? Or would Spurs still need to go and get a specialist progressive passer alongside them? So that is the real debate with all of this. And I know this is all kind of theory, and we haven't signed the players, and we probably won't even. But when we're looking at those two similar type of profile players, whether it's Fernandes next to Tonali or whether he's next to Paulinho, are we going to have enough have we got that passer? Do we still need to go and get that passer? So who wants to take that one off first?
Dan, with what you're saying, right? I'm just looking at Fernandes. Fernandes is more of a central midfielder, isn't he? So he's going to have better attacking stats than Paulinho.
Paulinho is a centre midfielder.
No, he's
but I think he means is Fernandes a number 8 and Paulinho is a 6.
Yeah, he's a defensive midfielder, Paulinho. So you can't really go with him stats. I'm sorry, I don't think you can.
Why?
Because he's a central midfielder, an attacking midfielder more than anything. Yeah,
Who?
and that's how he plays. Fernandes,
he's not an attacking midfielder. He's more of a number 8.
He's a central midfielder, where Paulinho is more of a defensive midfielder.
Yeah, but if you look at the stats, Spikey, Fernandes is almost doing as good as Paulinho in a defensive way. But on the other hand, he can actually progress the ball, pass better, get it up the pitch more. So what I'm trying to say is maybe Zerbi hasn't been rushing in to get Paulinho because there's better players out there who can do more with the ball.
Yeah, Paulinho does not really fit with traditionally what Zerbi would want as a midfielder in his role. If Paulinho wasn't at Spurs already, we would not be linked with him at all. And that isn't because he's a bad player. Paulinho is a very good player, but he's a pure 6. And primarily with Zerbi, with his pivots there, he doesn't want just a pure 6. He wants more what Fernandes, I think, is, who is a 6-8 hybrid. Like,
Yeah,
Fernandes
is a box to box, isn't he? More box to box than anything.
Who's that?
Fernandes.
I think he's a perfect 6. I mean, we don't use the exact role, but I think
he's an 8.
For Zerbi, I think you could play him in the 6 role. He could be your more defensive midfielder, as Dan showed. He can make those tackles, but at the same time, he can make those progressive passes. Like, I think he is, and this is not me. I love Paulinho. He was our best player last year. Should have been player of the season, no doubt. Should have played every single game he was healthy. But I think that Fernandes would fit in that 6-8 role. And then if you put somebody, I would say like a Morgan Skibb White next to him in the midfield. That to me is perfect profile for what Zerbi would want for how he likes to play.
Okay.
What about Wharton?
I mean, you can't look. You could play Fernandes and Tonali together because they're both good enough players. I think you could play Wharton with either one of them as well. But I think Wharton and Fernandes are similar style of players, if we're being fairly general. They're both guys who can pass the ball. They're not pure 6s, right? They're not pure, but at the same time, they're 8s who can do a defensive role. versus Morgan Gibbs-White. I like him, but if he's your 8, he's not going to slide over and do a defensive role, right? Bentoncourt, we've even seen him. He's a really poor man's version. You don't really want Bentoncourt being your main defensive midfielder.
I just don't get why we haven't signed Polini. I just don't get it. We've been
I've
crying
heard-
out
I've
for a
heard he wants
6
to go
all
back
this
home.
time.
I heard he wants to go back to Portugal.
Yeah, but Bikeyed, we've just that shows you Fernandes is good defensively as Paulinho, but he can do more with the ball.
Yeah, but then go and get a midfielder that can do that. I mean, he's sitting there as a 6. If we get in trouble and we're getting broken down all the time, he can bring a number 6 in. This is what we've been crying out for. We've got one. It's 25 million quid, which isn't a lot of money. Yeah, and I just don't get it. I just don't get why we inside him.
Well, why do you think?
Because that's not the profile that Zerbi wants.
Rolly, I've heard he wants to go back home anyway. I've heard he don't even want to sign Spurs. He's going through a divorce and stuff, and his kids have gone back home. Like, and he wants to go back to Portugal as well to be closer to them.
That's fair.
That's
if
the case.
If that's the case, then fair play to him.
I just think that there's more to this, isn't it? Because if De Zerbi wanted Paulinho, they would have got it wrapped up. The season would have ended.
Yeah.
They would have paid the money, and he would be here.
Just going by for what the actual man said himself at the end of the last season. You know what I mean?
What did he say?
100% he wants to sign Polini.
De Zerbi said that.
Yes, in his own words.
Did he?
100%. Yeah, in a what do they call it?
Interview.
In an interview, yeah, in a press conference. 100% wants to sign Polini.
Okay, so going back to that conversation there, where I talked about Tonali, I talked about Fernandes. Okay, different players, right? Yeah, offer different things to a Spurs team. Those two in our central midfielder will definitely improve us. Now, the missing thing is the passer, and we hear a lot of the fan base saying we need a specialist passer like a Wharton. Now, guys? Just we'll go around and let's go to Cookie. Cookie, would you want those two players, or would you want one of those changed with a passer instead?
I'd like Wharton.
No. Personally, I mean, you know, Wharton's still a young man. Don't get me wrong, but I think he will improve further, Dan. I don't think he's reached where he's going to go yet. Whether he can achieve that at Tottenham or not, I don't know. But personally, yeah, Wharton can pass a ball. No, I've got no problem with that. If you said to me it was going to be Wharton, Tonali in the 6 and 8 and one other, whoever was going to be in the 10, I'd be happy with that.
Yeah.
To be fair,
So you'd rather have a passer than a Cookie. You'd rather have a specialist passer in that midfield. Yeah. Okay. Everybody else agree with that? Anthony, mate, what do you think, Anthony?
No, I agree with Cookie. Yeah, I still think we should have a specialist passer in midfield, whether we go for Fernandes or Wharton or someone. But I still think we need someone else, a specialist passer. So I agree with Cookie. Yeah. Don't know why we don't go for. I don't know. How about Alex Scott? Would you say he's a passer?
Alex Scott.
I think he could. I think it's hard for him. So much of his time, he's kind of gone between the 10 and the 8. So I think he'd be a player for the right price would be worth the risk. He has the skill set to do it, which can be risky because we've said that before about other players. But I think he has the skill set to do it. And
I'd rather him than Bergvall.
Do you know they're asking for 80 million for that, aren't they, for Alex Scott?
That seems crazy.
That's ridiculous.
That's stupid money.
You know what it is? Everyone's set price tags on certain players, and now so all clubs are starting to do it now for their players.
It's just
I think if he's sold, it won't be 80 million. It'll come down, but they're going to say something silly at first, and then you start to negotiate. But
yeah, I mean, when we were going down, apparently when we were like going to get relegated, we're going to have a fire sale with all our players. West Ham go down and still sell their player for 80 million. That they got for about 30. It's crazy, isn't it?
Look, let's see what the chat is saying. Big up to Carl in the chat. How you doing, evening, chaps and chat? Ellie says hello, you lads on tour, and I'm sure you're having a blast.
Big up, Ellie.
She's talking about Scotland are picking up now, creating a few half chances, but much more positive play. Yeah, they need to get a point. They need to get something because 4 points could be enough to get through, isn't it? Because you can come third in qualifying that World Cup.
Yeah.
It's so easy to get out of that group. It's crazy. Sorry.
I was going to say we shouldn't want Scotland to go through. They don't want us to go through, so why should we want them to go through?
No, I don't really care, to be honest, about Scotland, but I'm just saying about what they need to do. Rob is in chat saying, considering all this talk of mid, I'm afraid there's something about our current list of injured mids. Possibly a couple of them aren't long ways from returning, or even worse, may never return.
Yeah.
We have Maddison. We need a centre forward. Big up to Trevorton in the chat. Hope you're well, mate. Fernandes is too young to be out. In which kind of midfield? He's young. But I think I'm just going to pause. I'm just going to mute Cookie because there's some feedback. The thing is with Fernandes, he could improve. He's 21, right? Maybe Zerbi could improve Fernandes to be even better player. He is Prem proven. He's played for Southampton. He's played for West Ham in the Premier League. We know what we're going to get. He's performed well. I think he's a good player. I really do. Let me just bring Cookie back in here. Cookie, can you hear us?
Yeah, I'm there, mate. Thank you.
So I had to mute you, mate, because there was just a little bit of feedback.
Sorry, mate.
Background.
Sorry.
But it's all right. You're
just
all right now.
making sure
You're
Sheriff is all right. He's gone to bed.
Yeah. It's a bit late for a minute. Oh dear. One Spurs King says Fernandes plays attacking midfielder for Southampton. Yeah. Do you remember, guys? His role changed, didn't it, when he went to West Ham? Bit more of a, more in a double pivot now playing for West Ham, right? Fernandes is like a Jude. Left as a 6, now a 10. Is he? I don't know. Don't know about that. Because his attacking stats for West Ham are not great. They're not. But he's more good at the defending and more and the carrying, but not so much as the passing. Like key passing. Look, let's go on to the next bit of news. So there's a lot of feedback. I don't know who that is.
Not me, I don't think.
No.
Wait,
All right, let's go.
Let me mute and you can tell me, Dad.
No, it's not you. I don't know who it is. Okay. All right, let's go to the next. Big up to everyone in the chat. Smash the like button. Subscribe to all my wonderful guests. Biker Yid, Anthony, Tottenham Therapy, 2 Marks show. Please subscribe. I've got their links in the chat. Much appreciated. And if you're not subscribed to me, please give me a sub as well. Thank you very much. Let's go to a couple more. Let's big up to RBS 95. He can play every position in midfield. He's a complete midfielder. And this is what I'm kind of getting a sense from Zerbi. He likes his midfielders to do many things. Anyone else in the panel see that he likes these midfielders to be multifunctional but strong in many areas? Anyone want to say anything about that?
Yeah, I think that's why he's more appealing than say the Paulinho, because for the role that he wants the players
that you can bring on, like if you're winning a game, like you could shore up the defense. You know what I mean? If we had to, do you know what I mean? I just think Paulinho is such a waste if we let him go, because we know what he can do. It's crazy.
Yeah, but you don't know what's going beyond, do you?
Rowley, if he don't want to be here because he's got problems with his family,
then like you say, that is fine by me. That, I mean, obviously, if that's he's got family's more important than anything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it is what it is, mate. If he don't want to be here, he don't want to be here, does he? What can you do?
No, if he wants to go back to Porto or Sporting and whatever.
And by kid, you're not going to like this one. RBS says Paulinho is not technical enough.
What? Honestly,
it's true though. It's true. We've got to be honest with ourselves. I love Paulinho. He really played well for Spurs last season. He was one of our best players.
So he did. Yeah, he was a striker as well for us. If it weren't for him, we wouldn't be even in the Premiership.
But we got to kind of look at the situation. If we were going to sign him, he would have been signed. I got a feeling that one's not going to happen. Yeah.
Unfortunately, that's a reason why we should have played him last year, not to keep him for this year, right? We have to get rid of the emotion of it was great. Again, I said he's our best player. He helped to keep us up for sure. But we have to move past that and see what's best going forward. And I think there's a legitimate argument to say that Palhinha isn't the best fit for what Zerbi wants going forward.
Mm-hmm. And there's an argument to say, where are you going to find a player like Palhinha for 20 million quid? You know what I mean? When you've got nobody on his doorstep.
Yeah,
but if we just get players that are all good for 20 million, then we're left with a squad that's worth 20 million.
No, that's not what I'm saying. The guys there. I mean, if the guy's to stay and Zerbi does his magic or whatever, yeah, for 20 million quid, yeah, you're not going to get someone in Palhinha's caliber to be like for that sort of money. It's as simple as that.
Do you know, guys, Zerbi, there's a terrible feedback from someone. Hold on, let me just mute you, Anthony. I think it might be you, mate.
Me, I'm not.
Well, it's just bad, isn't it?
Who is it? Is it Cookie?
Can't be me.
Yeah,
I'm in the
Cookie,
quiet room,
Cookie.
mate. I'm in a quiet room. TV's off, everything.
Cookie, what I'm going to do, mate, sorry, I'm going to mute you until I bring you in, yeah? Because there's some major feedback from you. I think it's the swimming pool or something. Sorry, mate. Stay with us, mate. I'll bring you into the conversation. Look, to Zerbi, you remember he was praising all these players last season. You know he was doing it. He was bigging them.
Well, he had to, didn't he? To get something out of them.
Yeah, he was. And then at the end of the season, he says there's only 12 players that I want to keep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agreed with him. I totally agreed with him.
So maybe Palhinha is one of those ones he said, no, not for me. Just saying, maybe.
I think if we can get him for like 25 million and he's fine not being the main man, go all for it.
Yeah.
I just think
I agree with that.
I think that he's not the high priority right now. There's higher priorities, and we need to make sure that we're filling those roles.
Just a player that we can put in there to shut a game down.
Yeah.
I think Dan,
if he's willing to do that, though, what if he says I want to play 90 minutes a game 35 times a year? Then Zerbi has to question whether that he can fill that role. But if we can get him for 25 million and he's fine coming off the bench, if we went out and got a Fernandes or
that was his release
Wharton,
clause or something like that. That was his release clause, but apparently it's missed that. That's gone now. His release clause.
Yeah, I don't think Bayern isn't gonna. Bayern wants to move him on. They're not going to be. That's not going to be a deal where you're going to have to be fighting over money. Bayern wants to move him. You'll be able to get him for a reasonable price. 100%.
You've got to get under 20. I bet 18, something like that. But we'll see what happens.
I think if we want to go to the next level, maybe we need to move away from Palhinha. What he did for us last season was brilliant, but maybe coming off the bench, if we had a Palhinha in the squad, if we signed a top midfielder and had Palhinha as like a backup midfielder, like a squad player, then I think that's great. But if we want to go to the next level, I think we probably do need to get someone better than a Palhinha.
The thing is, Anthony, we're nowhere near that level. Going to next levels, are we? Do you know what I mean? We've got to go. We've got to put round pegs in round holes, haven't we?
But you have to try and get to the next level, or should we stay in the same position the whole time?
No, I understand that, but like you say, the man is good at what he does. He's brilliant at what he does.
Yeah, but
and he scores goals as well. He can pop up with a goal as well.
I know, but to be honest, like we said earlier, maybe he doesn't want to stay.
This is the thing. That is the dilemma.
Rob in the chat, he says Morgan Gibbs White is far ahead of Fernandes.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Wonder how much he would cost to bring in now. He just signed a contract, didn't he, last season?
Yeah.
There must. I wonder if there was a like an agreement with Marinatas, whatever an agreement is these days with that guy, whether if a club come in for him. But I don't think Marinatas will sell him to Tottenham. I think that he'll try and I don't, because Marinakis don't look at us as a bigger club than Forest. He'll look at like the Man Cities, the Uniteds of the world, and say if he wants to go there, then yeah, go. But he probably, I think probably looks at his nose down at us, as you know, as for he thinks Forest are bigger than us.
Yeah, I get that. Joe, what about Joel Gomez, guys? Do you like him? Is that Wolves play, right?
Ideal.
Delmat's-
He would be.
He's
He would
going
be
to
great.
Atletico Madrid, isn't he?
Yeah.
I like Joe.
He's going to Atletico Madrid, I think, or
Is
gone
he?
or something. Yeah.
Yeah. Good night, Nita. Sorry, hello. How are you? Are you okay? We fixed up
Good
all
night,
this
mate.
season. If we don't fix up our midfield, we're in trouble for the longest time. Good night to you, Nita. Hope you're well. Look, let's move on to the next bit of news, which came out, I think, today. I mean, this one is, this is getting into crazy territory. I know we've kind of talked about him a little bit already on the show, kind of in and out throughout the night. But this came out today.
Wow.
Spurs push. That was the actual wording
Statement
on
signing.
the Palace 100 million. Spurs want discount. Hype level 11 out of 10. Guys, honestly, Wharton. I mean, you know,
Statement. That's made club making a statement signing him.
Yeah,
I think he's down. I think he's down to Liverpool.
Well, you hear this, don't you? That he wants Liverpool, but again, where's that source? Where's that come from? Who's saying that?
Yeah.
Anthony, do you remember who said that?
No, but I think what I heard. Maybe look, I've heard he's a Liverpool fan, and maybe what I've heard is someone's put two and two together and thought he's done a Liverpool then. But I've not actually. To be honest, I've heard a lot of hearsay, a lot of things. There's only a couple of reliable journalists that I'd actually believe, and a lot of these papers come up and they say this, they say that, and I'm like, yeah, but they're not. Next week they'll be saying the same story about not linking a player to another club, and then there's only like the Ornsteins and the Romanos maybe that I'd listen to, unless they've reported it. I don't really listen to anything else.
Yeah, this thing which I don't like. Does anybody know what this guy called Graham Bailey? Right, this is who's talking about the Wharton. I mean, is this guy is he worth what he says?
I've heard the name. I don't know how reliable he is.
Daily Mail, I think he works.
I don't think he's.
That'd be a load of bollocks then, if it's a Daily Mail.
Yeah, this is what I mean. But people are doing shows on Wharton Spurs push for Wharton. It's a load of rubbish. Let's be honest here. You know, it's not from a reputable source. But you know, a lot of the fan base, this name every season we hear Wharton. Spurs get Wharton, 70+ million. Palace are going to want a lot of money for him. They're not going to give him away. Such a key player for them. But you know, we saw his performance against Spurs in the Premier League. He dictated the game.
Yeah, he's an orchestrator, and he just does
he's a really good player. But there are other players out there who can pass the ball like him in Europe, which we looked at on the show last Friday. Cookie, you remember? There were other players similar passing ability. But as I said a little bit earlier in the show, the pattern of Spurs and the links all seem to be Premier League players right now.
Yeah. Which is good for us at the end of the day. We want experience in the team. You know, we said about, you know, the kids last year, Bergvall, Gray, Odibert, it just seemed like all we was doing was buying kids. Now, at the end of the day, the club have come out and made a statement, as well as other people in the club saying it's going to change. We haven't invested in the club properly. We are now going to. So like I always say, Dan, right, it's okay saying it, but actions speak louder than words. And until they've got the bloody shirt on, right, then they're not our player. We can all sit here and say, I want this, I want that, I want the other. But Scott was right what he said earlier. It's about what Zerbi wants.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you know, don't get me wrong, I would love Wharton in Spurs team. I think it'd be fantastic. And so if you had a Wharton and a Tonali, right, and they go out and spend 200 million quid on two players, I would say to them, fair play. Fair play, like Sheriff says. You've gone and done the business 18 months ago. You told us you ain't paying £100 million for a player.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, listen, we all sit here and talk about who we would like, and that's all part of the show. At the end of the day, that's what we're all here for. But at the end of the day, Spurs are saying they're going to back a manager. Let's see it. I want to see him get backed and get the players that he wants in that team, because at the end of the day, Dan, if he gets those players that he wants and that team don't perform, he's gone, mate.
Yeah.
And then, and this is it, guys. It's the hype train right now in the fan base. The hype train. It's really left the station. It's going full pout. People are getting carried away. And let's move to the next madness story. That and this, I mean, I think it's a load of rubbish. But this is what I'm hearing, guys. This is what I'm hearing in the fan base. And somebody said, even Zerbi said it.
Oh, no.
Title challenge.
Finish, Dan, what I would say is, I mean, I don't think we're going to win the league, but the league is open this year. There's plenty of teams with new managers, isn't there? So, I mean, I'm not saying we're going to go and win the league, but I wonder if Zerbi's come into Spurs and said, look, I don't want to be finishing 17th again or relegation trouble. I want us to be fighting near the top of the league. Because the players we're going for are higher than our standard, what we're used to.
This, Anthony, this is hype level 15 out of 10. Right?
Ridiculous.
Too much hype.
50 out of 10, Dan. 50.
Yeah, I mean, this is where we're going to talk about a bit of realism. And Anthony, you've kicked it off a bit, mate. Fair enough. It's all about opinions. We can have a chat about So how high do you think we can finish then, Anthony?
I don't think we're going to win the league. I'm not saying that we're going to win the league at all. But I do think we can aim for at least a European place, whether that's the top 6 or top 4. And I'm not just saying it, but look at United last year. They finished 15th, and then they added a couple of top players to their side and finished 3rd. Why can't Spurs do that?
Okay. They would have had a good squad anyway, didn't they?
Because we don't have near the squad they did.
Yeah.
They didn't have a great squad. They made a couple of changes. They got rid of a few players and brought a couple in.
Yeah,
they had a great side.
They have a better squad than we
did.
Finishing
15th.
But they finished 15th 1 year. It was a bad season. We finished 17th 2 years on a row. This isn't a bad season. This is a bad squad.
Absolutely.
I agree with your squad, but United's squad from last year, it wasn't fantastic. They've let a few players go as well.
It wasn't fantastic, but it was better than us. Their 15th was more of a blip than reality. Our 17th isn't a blip. 2 years in a row isn't a blip. That's the difference. We have to make more changes than they did.
Of course
we need to change. They changed 3 players in their squad. They had enough depth. We have to get striker, starting left wing, starting 8, starting 6, starting left back, starting right back.
Who's scoring the goals? Who's scoring the goals, guys? We ain't got
no one, is there? There's no one scoring the goals. Well, them 2 dumbasses are up front. They're always injured. At the end of the day, sell the pair of them, and get a proper couple of strikers in. I'm not having Solanke. I'll give him another chance and all this shit. He's been injured. Rich is terrible. He's got to go, whether he likes it or not. Right? I won't be happy if they sign one striker and keep Solanke. Dan, I will not be happy with that.
Look, Cookie, we've got to be realistic, right? They're going to end up keeping one of them. One of them will be staying, probably Solanke, right? And we need to replace him. I get it. We need 2 top strikers. Let's bring in box office. How you doing, box office?
I don't believe any of it.
How are you, man?
Yeah, big up, everybody. I agree with Mark. Don't get used to it. I can't be realistic anymore. I'm not realistic anymore. I've got to stay how it is. I'm sorry. It's not my job to be realistic anyway. It's for them to be realistic. The club, right? I could just say my opinion, and I just think people just are too afraid to have their opinion. As far as I'm concerned, get rid of all of them, most of them. I've said I haven't done a video yet. I need to do a video on it, but like I said, I'm getting rid of most of them. I mean, the fact that we're keeping Davis. I mean, what we're doing here? You know what I mean? What we're doing here? I mean, yeah, because I think that's what it needed. He needed a shake. He needed to shake the squad, as far as I'm concerned. You know what I mean? And like I said, the reason why I'm saying most of them, it's so you know my reason why. Whenever someone says to me, "Oh, you need to support this guy. He's still at the club," I said, "I've told you at the beginning of the season, I don't like this. I don't like this player. I've seen this player how many times now." Right? It's like that song that I like. That's your favorite song. You keep on playing it how many times? You keep on playing it how many times? Then it gets boring. It gets really, really boring because you keep on playing it how many times? You know what I mean? That's how many times I've had to watch most of these players. And Richarlison, like I said, if I see Richarlison again, that below average Emerald Heskey again, at my club still, I'm sorry, I'm not hearing it. I'm not hearing it. I'm done. I can't watch this guy falling his ass how many times? Right, he's done it for how many years now? He's done it for how many years now? Right? Solanke, right? Oh, he needs another chance. He had one good season at Bournemouth. Let that sink in, guys. One good season at Bournemouth.
Totally agree, Alex.
You know what I mean? It's like, I mean, we're not learning. We're not learning. Okay, fair enough. They've done a good job so far with the transfers. We'll give them a blue Peter badge. Okay, cool. Whatever. Okay. It's not like they could have got anything worse. You know what I mean? But credit where credit's due. They followed up what they said. Cool. We'll give them that. But still, like, you know what I mean? I don't know what else to say, really.
Box office. Now, the trouble is, right? The trouble is, you know, the fans have got on the hype train, right? I'm honestly being serious here. People are predicting a title charge, right? I mean, this is the fan base.
Ludicrous, mate. Absolutely ludicrous.
There are generally, I see it. Even below this, and Anthony, you know, you've got your reasons. You said we may be able to get top 6 Champions League spot. I mean, I can't have that either. I really can't have it because we are so bad the last 2 seasons. How can we jump from there to like top 6 when there's teams already far ahead of us? You know, I know you said there's been a replacement of managers, but they've got good squads, better squads than Spurs.
Yeah, but Dan, what I would say is, sorry to interrupt. What I would say is, yeah, I predicted that, but it all depends who we sign and who we get rid of. If we still got Richarlison and Solanke up front, then it ain't gonna happen. But if we do sign a top, you know, the players we're after, whether we sign them or not, and a top striker and a good left-sided player, then you never know what could happen. I'm not, but European places, whether that's top 6 or whatever.
You're not the only one saying it. You're not the only one. There's many fans who think that we can qualify for Champions League next season.
Oh, top 10 if we're lucky.
Top six is my prediction. I think we could go for, but I do not think we're going to win the league. So don't.
No, I know that. I know that. That's just stupidness. That's stupidness.
Yeah.
But
well, if you've got Archie Gray and Bergvall in midfield, oh, good luck to you. Honestly, that Harry Weeks impersonator, Archie Gray, who again, now I saw a fan when he was doing that video, that's behind the scenes saying, he's my favourite player. I was like, oh my gosh.
Really?
But look, guys, did you see this a couple of days ago, yesterday? You know, I don't know what you think of this guy. Paul O'Keefe, I mean, he's an ITK, isn't he? That's what he is. He's an ITK. He's not a journalist. He's just an ITK. You know, a lot of fans love this guy. He's got a huge following on X. He's on the last word on Spurs all the time. You know, he says this: De Zerbi wants senior pros, and I could be prepared to let some of the younger players go.
I'd be happy with
Luca, Bergvall, Telstar are unlikely to get much game time. Not saying they'll sell all of them, but serious bids will test their resolve.
Yeah, I also heard a story that he wants to keep Tel as well. So, what is the truth?
Exactly. So, anybody want to talk about this thing from Paul O'Keefe?
If he gets rid of, sorry to interrupt you, Dan. Well, actually, I'll let you finish. It's your show. Sorry, mate.
No. I said you can come in. Anyone can come in.
If he gets rid of Archie Gray, Bergvall, I'm sorry, just get rid of it all. If he gets rid of Sarr, right, until I'll say good, well done to him. You know what I mean? Because that I'm sorry, because they've had their chance, and for me, you know, I think being 17th twice last 2 seasons should be a message. You know what I mean? I think we're going to get away with it this season because I look at those teams that are up, that come up, and I don't look at them and think I'm not scared. I've got to be honest, and that's no disrespect. I don't look at them and think, oh, Leeds back in the, you know, when Leeds came up, you know, Sunderland came up. Yeah, they look dangerous, but these teams don't look very scary at all. So I think we're going to get away with it this season, even if we're not, you know, we are bad this season, next season. But you know, if he gets rid of Archie Gray, Burval, all these players, and he's ruthless with the squad, I'll give him some credit. I'll give him a lot of credit because for me, that's what the squad needs. You know what I mean? Yeah. The only thing I don't like at the moment, like I said, is I'm not trying to change the subject. Is that the fact that he kept Davis? I don't see the point. What was the point of getting Robertson in and then you've got Davis? I don't get it. That's the only thing. But other than that.
But guys, and this is what really concerns me, because the way the majority of the fan base is carrying on, that things are, Spurs are moving differently. They're not. They're not moving differently when you're keeping Ben Davis and signing a Robertson who's on the decline. We're not.
I'm happy with Robertson, actually. I'm happy. I think it's a good signing for Spurs, actually. Leadership,
you're not the only one. A lot of fans are over the moon with him.
I'm not having Udogie. I don't rate Udogie, and I think he's better than Udogie. So
I don't rate Udogie either.
No.
We needed a better left back. We needed a player who's going to come in and make a difference. But if Robertson, why are Liverpool so keen to get rid?
I hope he hits the ground running and proves everyone wrong, Robertson. I think he's a top signing.
Okay, well, there we go.
I think he's not good. He's not bad. He's just bang average. It's simple as that. It's like yes, he's experienced. He's experienced, and that's it. But it's nothing to get excited about. Can anybody remember Perisic?
Yeah.
That was supposed to be a good signing. Look how that worked out for Spurs. You know what I mean? So, like, I just think people got short memories. Listen, he's experienced, and it's exactly what we need in terms of that. Yeah, but I'm not. It's kind of like what is it? I'll just think about it. It's like that. It's like that film. It's like that program that you just watch, and you're just watching it, and you think, oh, just to pass time. That's Robertson. That's Andy Robertson. You know what I mean? You know, as a signing, it's just to pass the time. You know, and yeah, he could be someone that's good experience for the youngsters. Yes, but we're only going to see that long term and see how he works out for me. But it's nothing to get excited about. It's just it is what it is. He does what he's on the tin. Really, he's just experienced and hopefully can rub off on the players. That's it, really. But it's nothing to get excited about.
Look, guys, this is what it is for me, right? So we had Robertson come in, Davis re-signed. We signed how many defenders have we signed? Yeah, 2 centre-backs. But then this is what I don't understand with the fan base there. People are calling, this is where we're finishing. We haven't even finished the transfer window. We haven't shipped out all these players, and fans are just calling for Champions League spots and league titles. This is where I have to talk on my channel about some realism. Yeah, it's got to stop. It's got to stop. But we have no evidence at all to say that we're going to be performing at that level and finished above so many teams that finished above us last season, who are all going to strengthen as well in this window. And Anthony, fair enough, mate. You want to see what it is with the window finishing, and maybe but why are you on the hype train so much?
No. Look, I don't think we're going to win the league. I never said once we're going to win the league. I don't think we're going to win the league. No,
forget win the league. Even just qualifying for Champions League.
I think it's the Zerbi. I think we've got a top manager, and I don't think he's come to Spurs to be struggling near the bottom again. I think he's going to want to aim high and get us aiming for at least a European place. I think if we didn't have De Zerbi, if we still had Frank, I'd be like, no, we're going to struggle again. But it is De Zerbi. And I just want to see. Look, at the end of the day, we'll just see where we are at the end of the window and who we've got rid of and who's still at the club. And if we've had a good window, then why
I
not
reckon mid-table at
have a bit
most.
of optimism?
Mid-table. That's what I reckon.
So what if we didn't, Anthony? Say if we have a good window and we didn't finish in
Look.
that top 6, what would you be saying? What would you say then? Would you be disappointed?
If we had a good window and we didn't finish in the top 6,
Yeah, would you be disappointed?
yeah, a little bit, yeah.
That's what I mean. I'm not having any predictions for this team anymore. I don't give any predictions. It's a waste of time. You just don't know. You just can't
you
predict
want the
this
best for
team.
your club, though, Dan, don't you? You know what I mean? And everyone's like,
Thing is,
it's what
most-
football is dreams, isn't it? You know what I mean? We're going to go and buy this player. We're going to buy that player. We're going to be better. We're going to be better up front.
Do we know who our owners are? Do we know
This is what we're saying. After the last 25 years, you've got to wake up and smell the coffee, ain't you? It's the way it is, isn't it?
But Dan, they deserve credit. They deserve I don't even know why I'm saying this.
Don't say that.
They deserve credit for doing what they said they're going to do before the transfer window. They've got 3 signings in. And so, yeah, we have to. They have really. I mean, I know it's defence, but I mean, they have bought players in early in. You know, I know the players that we bought in. The 2 of them were in January. From January, but you know, we got Senesi, who's quite a good defender from what we're seeing, and he does play the ball forward, as I've seen it. You know, Andy Robertson. You know, he's not exciting. No, he isn't. But he does what he's on the tin experience. And Van Hecke, what the heck they can say. We've got a good competent defender that actually can play. Is good on the ball. So to be fair, we have got signings and we're looking at other players as well. Really, so. I think it's down to De Zerbi pushing this. Yes, I mean I don't listen to the whole thing about it's all about De Zerbi because we've had this conversation how many times. It's boring. It's not about the manager. It's about the ownership, and that's not changed. And you know I do stick by what I say that you know the fact that we can't get a director of football, which is because we gave the golden handshake to De Zerbi if we stayed up. You know, that's a reason why he's got all the control right now, isn't it? So I don't like that. I don't like the structure at the moment. No, I don't think it's going to work long term. No, with a manager, I don't think he can do that. But at the moment, as it stands at the moment, it's they're doing what he wants. So. We got to give him credit.
Into the window, Alex. That's the thing, isn't it?
Well, yeah, no. Listen, I'm not here about days and windows and all that. I'm just saying from what I'm seeing at the moment, I have to give him credit. Yeah. You know, if I'm big enough to criticize these people, you've got to be big enough to take the credit as well. Give him credit as well, but at the same time, it is what it is. I still don't think it will work long term. I don't think it will work long term because I think this will come crashing down because I don't think it's about a manager. I don't think it will be. But I think the interesting thing will be what sort of players are we going to bring in the attack, and are they going to complement the players that we've got that are going to stay? And are they going to have chemistry? Because that's the most important thing right now is chemistry, you know, between players. If you don't have chemistry, you clearly won't. It won't work, even if you have good players.
Box office. Are we bringing in Tonali, or is this a fairy tale?
I beg to differ. I don't think it will happen. I think the top team will go and get him. I just don't see it happening. For me, if we do get him in, that will signal some departures. Definitely. 100%. You can't. You need to bring it. You need to. There's a couple of players in that midfield we have to depart if he does come in, because he's a spot sort of midfielder, isn't he? So hybrid sort of
Oh,
spot.
fuck it. Don't be asked. It's fucking messing up.
So yeah, that's it really. So
this comment here, guys. Kevin, our most creative players were out for the whole of last season. Now they're back, and we're strengthening with the likes of Bournemouth, Brighton, Sunderland in Europe next season. I think Europe is on. Anyone?
It's just one game a week, then, isn't it? And plus the FA Cup games and the cup games. We've got a chance. Don't get me wrong, but I'm still not going to push the boat out and say, "Oh, we're going to get European place." You know what I mean? Sorry, mid-table at most.
it could go two ways. I think I don't agree with this whole thing about us being in Champions League. I think it depends on what run we're going to be in. I think we could get into top 10 possibly.
Yeah.
It depends on how we negotiate the fixtures earlier on. I do think we've got some favourable fixtures in the middle of the mid season. It's just that last part is a bit tough. I've got to be honest. So I don't know what's going to happen there. But yeah, the first couple of games, first 6 games, I think it's quite tough from what I see. So, and I think I don't know how we're gonna, because obviously he's gonna play the way he wants to play and stuff. So I think it will be interesting to see if we can just get going straight away. You know what I mean? Get really into it straight away. You know what I mean? So,
guys, let's bring up the fixtures, yeah, because that was the last point I wanted to talk about tonight. Right, the fixtures are out; they're released today. I think it's a tricky start, to be honest. I do. I think it's a tricky start. Brentford away, Newcastle at home, Nottingham Forest away, Everton at home, Aston Villa at home, Man United away, Coventry okay at home. That's all. You can clearly see we should win that one.
Yeah.
Chelsea away, Palace at home. I think that's a tricky start, guys. And everyone in the chat as well. What do you think of this start we have?
There's no easy game in the Premiership, Dan. There's no easy game, is there?
I'm not looking forward to these games unless we get these players in that we need. Urgently, we need to bring in midfielders. We need to bring in a striker. We need to bring in...
There's a lot of work to be done, mate, and we can't do it in one window, mate. That's the thing.
Guys, I think that's tricky. Do you agree with me, or do you think that's an easy one? Or
I think it's a tricky one. I think Brentford away, Newcastle at home. Depends on what Newcastle will be after the window. Nottingham Forest is always a tricky game. Everton at home, we normally win that game, actually, to be fair. And then Aston Villa, we've not beaten them for the last couple of years, I think. Then Man United away, that's a tricky one. And then it goes into Chelsea. But then I do think we got some favourable fixtures, because I do think Leeds, it depends on what they get in the summer. Crystal Palace again, how his new manager settles in and stuff. And then you got Ipswich, and like I say, Ipswich have lost their manager. So
November gets easier at box office, doesn't it? Yeah. November looks more easier.
It definitely looks much more easier. I don't look at those fixtures and look. Like I said, I think the teams that have come up really have made. It just doesn't. It's not a difficult that it was challenging like last season. The teams that were coming up last season from the Championship.
Yeah,
and also we need to remember as well, Hull might be losing points as well, which is ridiculous, to be honest with you, because of FFP.
Yeah,
which is even more ridiculous, to be honest with you. So
I want to hear from Anthony and then Bikeyid. Anthony, what did you think of the fixtures, mate?
Yeah, I think they're tough. I think they're looking at Brentford away. Obviously, they did home better last year, didn't they? Newcastle at home. Um, yeah, September. I mean, yeah, September and October are looking tricky, aren't they? But yeah, November looks a bit easier. But it's the Premier League. You've got to play everyone twice, haven't you? And there are no easy games. There might be
No.
games there where we think are easy and we end up getting unstuck with. And there's games where you think going to be hard. We might actually do something on. So there's no easy games, and we've got to play everyone twice anyway, haven't we? So
you think it's a tough draw? And Biker Yid, where's your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, Brentford away is going to be hard as a first game. That's going to be a hard game because Brentford are good at home. Newcastle home, depending on Newcastle whether they get the players because they'll have money. Don't get if they're going to be selling players like they have been, they're going to have money to spend on other players. So you just don't know. It's you can't really say because what players are Spurs going to actually get in? Because at the moment, if you look at how we are at the moment, they're all hard games. Do you know what I mean? Apart from Ipswich and maybe Leeds and Coventry, you know what I mean? But
I look at that fixture list, guys, and I just think that's a tough start, and I think we've got to get on with in this transfer window. We've got to improve massively. That is a tough start. Otherwise, we're going to be struggling. We are going to be struggling. Let's go to the chat and see what the chat think of the Premier League fixtures so far. I'm just going to go down to the bottom of the chat and see what people are saying there. Let's have a little look there.
Where's the main fixture, Dan? The Gooners.
Let me take this down. No, that's not on this one. I didn't go that far ahead. I just wanted to talk about the beginning of the season. I didn't want to go too far ahead.
Okay.
Let's just go to the chat. Morla in the chat, how you doing? If you look at the profile of who we have signed and what we're linked to, they are tailor-made for the manager. We're giving him the keys at the moment. Yeah, well, so far we are. He's asked for the players and we're bringing them in. Aussie Anns in the chat says we're signing top players and we have a top manager. Big things are happening at Spurs. The owners have woken up and we're in for a treat this season. Minimum top 6 with FA Cup. I've been calling it. Well, again, I'll ask the same thing to you, Aussie Ange, like I did to Anthony. If we don't make top 6, you're going to be disappointed. It sounds like you will be. Let's just go to the chat and see if anything more about the kind of... Mr. M says the quad is on. I know he's joking. I know him. He's joking. Ron, big up to Ron in the chat. How you doing, Ron? He's talking to Scott. Scott says about what creative players are back. Maddison with his reconstructed knee.
we need to, honestly, I wouldn't be relying on Maddison. Danny said it. Danny said it.
2/3 of the season.
Danny said it, and to be honest with you, I'd make him right. I actually, you know what? If I was more I was going to put him out, sell him as well. If we get money for him, sell him because he's not fit. He's never fit. He's always injured.
Well, he only plays half a season or 2/3 of a season. It's no good.
We can't put up with that anymore. You know what I mean? We need players that are fit.
I agree, Alex. Sorry, box office. I agree with you. But the only thing is, are we going to go and get a number 10? Are we going to get a left winger, a centre forward, 2 midfielders, and a number 10? Are we? If we are, then Maddison, we don't have to rely on. He can come off the bench.
That's some shopping.
We need a ball-playing midfielder that can pass the ball, and I think you could play Gallagher in number 10 anyway. To be honest with you, it's just that you need a ball-playing midfielder. You know what I mean? A deep lining midfielder at the moment. You know what I mean? And I mean, for the players that I've seen, I mean, the one that we've been linked with, Fernandes, it seems to have that sort of quality to do that. You know what I mean? But he plays in different positions. I think he's got all round.
He's not a specialist passer. He's not a specialist passer. He's good at defending, carrying the ball. We went over him a little bit earlier in the stream. He's got a lot of qualities, but he's not that passer that we're looking for.
Well, I've seen some highlights of his, some clips of him, and he can pass it.
Yeah, he can pass. Yeah, you're right.
But,
he's good.
I do agree with you. He's not say, for instance, a Wharton, a Locatelli. No, that's what we need. That's what we need.
Exactly.
And I think that's what but to answer your question, the reason why I'm saying talk about that deep line midfielder is that if you could let go of Maddison, you need somebody who can be who can create deep line midfielder. You could put Gallagher there, number 10. You know what I mean? You've got other players that can play that role.
I
It's
don't
just
like
like
Gallagher. I don't like Gallagher, man. Unless you're putting in a system what's going to suit his game. I'm not sure about Gallagher. Maybe I'll be proved wrong next season. Got a lot of running in him, good at pressing. But has he got that pass? Is he going to get enough goals from that area? I don't know. I don't know if he's the same player that we used to see at Palace, where he was scoring a lot. The same player like at Chelsea, where he did really well under Poch. Went to Atletico Madrid, and I really don't know about Gallagher anymore. What I saw of him playing for Spurs, and I know a lot of it was under Tudor and Frank. Maybe De Zerbi will get the Gallagher back that we thought was a good attacking midfielder. Anthony Bikeyid, just your opinions on Gallagher, Maddison. Do you agree with us?
I think Gallagher's going to be. Yeah, I'd keep Gallagher. I would keep Gallagher for the simple reason he's a passer and he's Prem proven, isn't he? He was Chelsea captain. He weren't Chelsea captain for no reason, was he? And
so you've got faith in him. You've got.
And he played well for Crystal Palace as well, didn't he? When he played as well. So
were you impressed with him, Bikeyid? What you saw of him in that, since he
Crystal
signed
Palace,
in January?
No,
at Spurs. We only can really judge on what we've seen at him so far playing in a Spurs shirt. Has he done enough for you?
I think as a box to box, yeah, he was all right. I was box to box, he was all right, and he was getting in, and he was like a little terrier, really. But he works very, very hard as a box to box midfielder. Yeah, he's okay, but not as an attacking. He can't play a number 10. I'm sorry, no.
Anthony.
When we signed him, I was happy about the signing, but I've not been impressed with him. I thought he was a good right signing at the wrong time. To be honest, he came into a mess, didn't he? If De Zerbi can get the best out of him, we might see a different Gallagher next season with De Zerbi. But what I've seen of him, I weren't impressed with him at all.
Yeah, we'll have to monitor that one. I think with Gallagher, got a lot to prove for me. I think. Mark Cookie in the chat says 1 game a week. Of course, that is going to help us. Not playing in Europe, that is definitely going to be an advantage to us. Like Man United weren't in Europe last season. I think there was a season when Chelsea weren't in Europe, did really well. So it will make a difference not having all those extra games.
What last season Chelsea were in Europe? Did you mean last season?
I think there was a season when they weren't in Europe and they did pretty bad. They did a lot better in the league, didn't they?
They won the league, didn't they? They won the league.
Well, I can't remember when, but
2017 under Conte. I think the year after I think it was his first season. They won the league or something, wasn't it? Or something the next year.
Kulu, we don't know if he's ever going to be the player again. I didn't particularly rate Kulusevski, guys. I think he was a very inconsistent player. I think he had some good games. His stats are not too bad when he was playing, but he's not. We can do better than him, right? Kulusevski.
I've never rated him. I've always had my issues with him. I've always I called him and Bentancur Juventus rejects when they came back to when they came to Tottenham. And to be honest, Kulusevski's been up and down, but I've always said that he holds on the ball too much. You know what I mean? When he had his good period with Ange, I thought and at the beginning of the season with Conte, I think he was good. But he's just the injury's not helped him at all, hasn't it? You know what I mean? And now he's I think he's broken now for me. I don't think you're going to see the same Kulusevski because he's been out for so long, isn't he? You know what I mean? So,
I think we can't rely on that player.
I'm with you, Dan. I've never really rated him, to be honest with you.
I think our squad's been so awful, hasn't it? That he was actually getting goals and assists, and that's the level we've dropped down to, isn't it? We need better than Kulusevski. I
Yeah.
think.
I honestly, we need to get rid of all the Bears is another one as well. All the Bears another one as well, which again,
I agree with that.
it's just like, you know, I just don't know what we've been doing. You know what I mean? I really don't know what we've been doing. I mean, this is a Tottenham that used to have Aaron Lennon. What is it? You know, Gareth Bell.
Bale,
Back
yeah.
in the day. You know what I mean? You know, down the VAR, we had what else did we do? We had loads of players. Darren Anderson. We had
Modric.
Dele Alli, Ericsson,
the fact that we haven't not improved on Lamela, Moira, and I wanted them gone before because I thought they were useless towards the end. And I can't believe that we haven't got any better than them lot. You know what I mean?
We haven't,
I'd have
mate.
those players back.
No, I wouldn't.
Get them back. You know what I mean? It's just like, it's ridiculous. I thought Moore was he was getting on my nerves towards the end, but to be honest with you now, I've had to apologise. Burvine, we didn't even got better than Burvine. I mean, and you know, he got frustrated, didn't he?
The recruitment, guys, the recruitment over the past 4 years has been absolutely
awful, mate.
Dreadful. What good signings have you actually rated, guys? Just quickly off the top of your head, what good signings have we brought into this club in the last 4 seasons?
Thing is, Dan, I agree with Alex. It's the box office, whichever you prefer. I do apologise,
no, it's box office now, mate. Not Alex.
Yeah. I do agree with him. With Odebear is bang average. He's a championship standard player. I don't see the fascination of him at all. He can't cross the ball, can't take a player on. Most wingers at the club are like that, but I've never seen a fascination with him. I do not rate him at all.
I agree.
He came in and everyone was jumping up and down, big up Scott. But it's like he came in and like everyone was bigging up. So he's got these stats and everything else. And he had
Burnley player
with Everton, his first debut, and I was like, I watched him myself, and I was like, what is the fascination? And he's done absolutely nothing since. He's done nothing. You know what I mean? It's just like, I've seen better wingers from other teams. But Tom has done better than him. You know what I mean? Like, loads of better other wingers. You know what I mean? It's just this fascination with players that are just, he's bang average, like Tell, bang average. You know what I mean? It's just I just can't do it anymore.
Until these players are shipped out, we're not going anywhere. Let's be honest with ourselves. Tells, Wilsons, Kulusevskis, even people think Maddison's time's up. Solanke, Richarlison.
He's the best of a bad bunch.
Be replaced. The only player I think is good is Kudos, and you know that's it. That's all we really got in that forward line.
We overplayed him.
Zerbi, we're not sure about.
The thing is, he was their only outlet going forward, and they just man-marked him, and we were out of it.
Yeah, but
you've got 2 players on it.
You're right. So that's why you need someone on the left as well, and you need a dangerous forward. Even Xavi, you know, he's got a lot to prove still. You know,
the problem with Xavi is, I called in the Dutch Pretty Ricky a couple of last season because he was a bit of a last season. But the problem with him is that we got him. We were desperate. You know what I mean? We were just desperate. We panicked with him, yeah. Because if you looked at RB Leipzig, he had He had the tall striker up front. He had a Pender that was making runs.
Yeah.
Who do we have at Tottenham that do the same thing? Was it? I forgot his name now. That at Man United, who held up the ball for him. I can't remember his name. Sesko. Sesko up front. He had a Pender making runs. And I looked at our team. I said, "Who's doing the same thing at Tottenham?"
No one. He'll be better with better players aside of him.
Well, no. At least he has players that he can recognise.
Play off them.
How he's playing at bloody RB Leipzig. But what we were doing was we got him in thinking he's a number 10, but he ain't no number 10. He's just a hybrid number 10. You know what I mean? It's just like I don't get it. Anyway, moving on. So, you know.
I think the boy will come good. I do. I do like whether he comes good with his ACL. I don't know, because like a lot of
I'm going to
players
be a
are
millionaire then. I'll be a millionaire then, biker. I'll be a millionaire then if that's going to happen. Yeah, that's how much I believe in that.
We've seen glimpses of it, haven't we? But not consistently on a consistent basis to say he's going to be a top player.
Yeah.
Think of all the hype with Xavi when he joined. Fans were so happy with him. When I was happy with him, but it didn't really work out, did it, for him first season?
But we were. I think it's because of.
It's like what Alex.
He's a little bit of a name, and he's a name. Everyone's heard of, isn't he? That's why I think everyone was happy about him.
Yeah.
But we brought Xavi in, and correct me if I'm. I think it was 3 games into the season or 2 games into the season, right? Really late, and only because Chelsea didn't want him. If Chelsea had wanted to buy him, he would have gone to Chelsea, right? We all know it. So once again, we bring in a player who has some quality, and he's certainly a level above the Tells and the Odegaards we have. But we brought a player in with no plan. Like, what was our plan? How are we supposed to have a plan for how to use him, how to integrate him to the squad if we're waiting on Chelsea to make a decision on him, right? We bring him in. We don't give him a preseason. We throw him into the squad, which is poorly planned already. So I think Xavi Simons, and now, of course, then this summer he's going to come in with a busted knee. But I think if Xavi Simons would have come in July, if he would have been a clear plan, we're bringing him in not because Maddison has a busted knee and Chelsea aren't going to sign him, but you bring him in and you have a plan how to use him, I think he would have had a successful season.
Listen,
he would have had was third choice, wasn't he, Scott? Though, wasn't he? Because it was Morgan Gibbs-White, Eze. They fell through, and then they were desperate, weren't they? In the end.
And I don't think if Maddison wouldn't have got hurt, I don't think we would have signed Simmons, to be honest.
Yeah.
So I guess it's what happens when you just bring in individuals without any plan, and B, you don't have a plan, so you just react to things, right?
And
that's what happens.
There's never been a plan, guys. Is there? This is the biggest issue with Spurs. Do you all believe there's a plan now?
No.
Can I just say, with Xavi, if he had Maddison the side of him, he'd be a better player.
Who?
Yeah, I think so. I think he would be a better player.
If Xavi, right, had Maddison the side of him, he'll be a better player.
What formation's that, Biker Yid? What formation they're playing to put them both in?
Well, I think you can play him as an 8.
What if we don't get a left winger?
Well, no, I think that you could just different things. You can different formations. I think you could have moved one of him or Maddison into an 8 if you want in certain games. I think Simmons could have played out on the left. The biggest problem I have with Simmons this year on the left is when he went out to the left, we didn't have Maddison. We had nobody in the middle to get him the ball. He was playing on the left with Lucas Bergvall. So he's out on the left. Nobody gets him the ball, so he looks like crap. I think that if you did have Maddison in the middle and he's healthy, which I will know is only going to happen a few times this year, that it would work a lot better because Maddison would get him the ball. Simmons is smart enough to make the runs, and Maddison is smart enough to find him on those runs. I think it would work a lot better. But
I get that.
It's literally like what I was saying with Kudus. Yeah, I mean they doubled up on Kudus, and we didn't have no outlet. Same thing with Xavi. They can man mark him, and then we got nothing going forward, have we? There's nothing.
You saw a few times Xavi made passes which were good. That's where they should have gone, and nobody.
There's no one there.
The other players aren't smart enough to make those plays. Right? Bergvall isn't smart enough to make the run. Solanke and Richie aren't smart enough to make the run. He makes the right play. So he will be better. I think he's a player worth keeping. I want to see what he can do. But again, here's the problem. How's he going to be when he comes back from his knee injury? How long is it going to take him? Is next season going to basically be he comes back at Christmas? I don't know how long he's out, but give or take. And then the second half of the season, he's getting back to full health.
Guys, there's so much to do with this squad, man, in this window. It's not going to be all done. There's so much. And this is why when fans get carried away with finishing in the top 5 Champions League spaces, top 6, we just got to calm down a little bit. Yeah, this is what I'm saying. I just think
top 10.
We're so far away. If top 10,
Dan, they're not going to calm down. Dan, after how many years of doing YouTube?
No, I know.
They're not calming down. Like honestly, it's not even worth even thinking about it, bro. Honestly, Like I have to deal with that.
When's your
Deluded,
boxing?
have to deal with that deluded guy, Danny Kunyaku. The most like he's my mate. He's my mate. I love him. I love him. Yeah, but he's even started. He started already. But he's gonna be unbearable this season. I know he is because I know what he's like. I know exactly what he's like, right? But you know what is going to happen. He's going to have a little rant. When Tottenham do badly, you have a little rant. You'll go on Real Tottenham TV and start arguing Brendan Sim. That's what he'll do. You know what I mean? I said, I told you so. I told you so. You know what I mean? So it's like, I know what's going to happen. I know exactly what's going to happen.
And how can I get you, and he's not the only one. Just how can
it happens every year, Dan? It's not like it's like
I know.
You know what I mean?
We all want the best for our club, and football's about dreams, isn't it? Making dreams.
You've got to be.
And that's what it's all about at the end of the day.
But like you say, it's silly, man. Honestly, like how can we've been in a relegation battle last season, and fans have just forgotten of what's happened. They've just completely.
I tell you what it is. We've got a syndrome. Yeah, the syndrome is main character syndrome. We want to be the main character. Yeah, but all we are is really we're the side chick. That's what we are. We're the side chick. That's what we are.
We're the adverts, mate. No, we're not even the main.
We want to be.
We're the adverts.
Yeah, exactly.
We want Dan. We want to be the one that says at the end of the season says, "Told you so."
do you know what? Wouldn't it just be great if everyone had just stop talking and just let them crack on and see what happens, right? And then we'll see, and then we'll judge it and say, look how they've done, rather than all these pre-predictions of.
It's never going to happen, Dan. It's never going to happen, Dan, because we're always going to be that. We always want to be the main character. We always want to be the main event, but there's only one main event, and you're looking at it. You know what I mean?
Oh, wow.
I think as much as the biggest concern is we want the easy fix. We think that there's like I know I probably come across as I don't like Zerbi. I really quite like him. He would have been one of my top 5 managers to come in here. I love him, but he's not a magic man. He's a manager. He's not a magic man. Like, so I hear all the time, well, we can finish top 6 because we have Zerbi. No, that's not how it works. We can't finish.
Got to earn it, Scott. We've got to earn it. We've got to
not with the players we got, Scott.
No,
not with the players we got, brother.
I would say this, like you said, let's hope. I hope we finish top 10. That's my dream. Why not finish top 10, make the building blocks to build, and then the next season after. If we finish top 10, let's say we finish 10th next year, and we see that Van Hecke comes in and solidifies our defense, that we get a midfield that we're happy to have, that we have some attackers that now can consistently score. That's a brilliant season. It really it's a great season.
Work in progress.
The idea that we're going to come in and finish 6th, like I say,
I don't want to see one
Arsenal,
transfer window. I
Liverpool,
want 2 or 3
Villa.
where we actually push on and make the squad better.
The only reason why I gave him credit earlier, for doing their business early, but the only reason why they're doing their business early is because the Zerbi's selling them.
They're free, mate.
Right, there's no doubt about it. Yeah, they're worried about losing their what is it called? What is it called? Their oracle. They're worried about losing their oracle because this guy will crash and burn.
I don't see anything different that they're doing that I haven't seen in the past.
Scott, you're speaking truth here. I look at it like I said, right? The only thing that's happening at the moment is Zerbi saying, I want this player, I want this player, I want this player. You promised me this, yeah? Right? Yeah. And they've got to do it, yeah? And also they now promise the fans as well. So they've got to do it. And because they've got to look different to Daniel Levy. That's the point. And I don't even want to go on about that guy, man, but it is what it is. Do you know what I mean?
They said we're going big this summer. Let's see.
Well, they promised it. They kept on saying we are going to concentrate on football. So now their cards are marked. You know what I mean?
I've got nowhere to hide now, Alex.
I'll be honest with you. It's players not just in, it's players out as well. And unfortunately, they've failed on that one because they've still got Davis here. and they're making excuses already for him. So I'm sorry, I don't know. For me, the structure isn't going to work long term for me. Like, you know what I mean? It just doesn't work for me. But the reality is, the reason why things are happening quickly is because they're worried that if the Zerbi doesn't get his players, he will walk and go mad.
Simple as that. And the fan base, I'd say, the fan base don't do anything, to be honest. We finished 17th. There's no protest. There's nothing. But it's embarrassing, isn't it, for the club? Spurs size finishing 17th 2-season running. It's a mess, and it looks bad on this ENIC ownership. They've changed, got rid of Daniel Levy, and they got worse. They got worse. So someone's got to take responsibility. But Lange is still here. We don't know what's going on there. We're hot. We know where are we now? How many weeks into this? Since the season? I know the window just opened Monday, but I don't know. A lot of work to do, guys. Honestly, I'm going to wrap it up shortly, guys. Has anyone got any burning questions before we wrap up?
Sorry, Dan. Apparently, according to Golden Cockerel I see on Facebook earlier, we've got a new director of football today.
We have
No, we haven't.
No, not director of football operations. He does the contracts.
Okay, yeah. Operations, yeah.
He's a guy that comes in. He does the contracts. He'll make sure everything is right. All our clauses are proper. All that stuff is done. So he could help, but he isn't he doesn't evaluate talent. He's not a guy who evaluates talent, or he hasn't been in the past.
In other words, he's doing Lange's job as well.
Guys, what do you reckon about all the carry on from other clubs about Spurs and this kind of coming in for Tonali, and Spurs can spend money and other teams can't? There seems to be a lot of jealousy across the other.
Yeah, I see that with Alice.
I know Villa and Newcastle, isn't it? Villa and Newcastle are. Villa and Newcastle fans are moaning apparently, aren't they?
Well, they will be because we're off to Tonali, their best player.
No, but the Villa fans are like
other than Gamara.
Why can we spend and they can't, sort of thing?
They don't understand it, do they? They don't understand about the revenue. That Spurs actually do bring in good revenue compared to the likes of Villa and Newcastle.
All we've got to do is see what happens. But on recent events, I don't hold much hope for Tottenham. Really,
this is it from Nita. Our name is Tottenham Hotspur. Our owners need to fix up or get out.
Absolutely.
No time.
I think we should roll the dice, but it is what it is at the moment. I think it's not about the manager for me. It never will be about the manager because, like, you can have different managers. I think even if we do well this season, you've always got that question in the back of your mind that it will crash and burn the following season after that.
Can they keep it up? Exactly. Box office, that's it. Can they keep it going window after window, signing quality players? This is what hasn't been proven. This is why when people say things that Spurs are moving differently, it's far too early to say statements like that. Far too early. We're not moving differently. This is just the beginning.
We need a big, massive clear out until they show that, and if they get the players out, and then we'll see what happens with players coming in.
Right, guys.
Arsenal had that change. Arsenal from when they changed the club from when they were like seventh, I think eighth or seventh, whatever it was. Right, they gradually got rid of the players that they didn't need in the squad, right, and got good players in, and that's why they're in the position they're in now, because the players got better gradually every single time, every single season. You know what I mean? And that's what you need to do. You got to get rid of mediocrity, and sometimes you've got to be harsh, and that's it, really. But on the answer, my last thing I need to say is that on people saying that we're going to do well, they're going to be like that because they're revitalized because they like the manager now, and they've got a little bit more renewed hope, haven't they? Reality is, though, it doesn't work in 5 minutes. You know what I mean? It just doesn't work in 5 minutes. It's going to take time, isn't it? Really, you know what I mean? So
Spurs fans are dreamers, mate. It's just the end of the day.
They are dreamers, and they don't learn from what's happened in the past. This is it for me.
I think what. Go ahead, sorry.
No, you go for it, mate.
I was going to say what concerns me is when we hear about all these changes in this. Chelsea announced on May 17th, Xabi Alonso was coming in. May 30th, Arne Slot was sacked. There's no reason why in May, Johan Lange should not have been sacked. If we were serious about doing anything this summer, he would have been sacked, right? Those are two big clubs. They sacked their managers and moved on and got to their new manager in May. We're now in June 19th, and Johan Lange is still here. If we were serious, he would have been gone in May. Honestly, if we were serious, he would have been gone in February.
But we're not a serious club.
As long as Johan Lange is still in charge, or not even still in charge, if he's a co-director or still has a role at this club, we're not a serious club. And if we say that we're going to make a change, well, then what's been happening? So in June 19th, who's making decisions on Van Hecke? And if it's De Zerbi and not Lang, then why do we keep him on?
Yeah,
that's the issue I have when I hear that we're changing.
Brighton have got rid of their director of football, right? And look at what Brighton have been doing. Some of the players they're bringing in, they got rid of him. They sacked him.
Yeah, true. Fact.
Yeah, I mean. So anyway, yeah, I know you want to end the show.
That's why Alex is right. I'll go back to, I really like De Zerbi, but he can't do anything if the people above him are Vinay Vikantesham, the new Enoch, whatever, the kids, and Johan Lange. It doesn't matter because the manager will always be submarined, and it's why, as I agree 100% with Alex, doesn't matter who the manager is. De Zerbi might be able to get us top 6. We might be able to next year. De Zerbi flukes us into a top 6. The problem is we know that's not going to be sustained, right? How many Conte got us top 4? What did that do for us?
Yeah, we didn't improve, did we?
No.
Poch, all the greatness Poch did. What did it do for us? Because it's not sustained if you don't have the right people above them, and that's what's always going to hold us back.
No backing.
Year after year after year.
They gave him too much. They gave him too much to get. They gave him the golden handshake, saying he can get what he wants, and now no director of football of their sort is going to want to come to Tottenham. The only good difference now is the only solution for this right now is getting a chief executive, chief scout. That's the only way forward right now. But director of football, you're dreaming. A decent director of football of their sort, right? Even the guy, ex-director of football from Dortmund, who looks bang average to me, yeah, said reportedly. No. Apparently, he said no to Tottenham because he knew that De Zerbi's got all the power. So what is the point of having a director of football then? It's just
box office. That says it all. That's a massive red flag, that is. Even if you don't rate that Sebastian Curl, it's a massive red flag.
But even if you don't rate, it's even a bigger red flag. A bang average, as Alex said, a bang average director of football said, no thanks. He's not a guy that has a ton of opportunities, right? He's not.
Dougie Freeman walked away as well, didn't he? He actually come to the ground.
You're told for my expertise, but the thing is, though, I've got no power of doing my own job and telling him what to do because I'm my director of football. Why am I listening to the manager when it makes my role obsolete? You know what I mean? It's pointless. It's pointless because you gave him the golden handshake and said, if you keep putting them up, you can get every player you want. So basically, he's a manager now, De Zerbi.
He's the director of football. He's the manager. He's the chief recruitment officer. He's everything.
So it's like it's no point in getting director of football. You might get a chief scout. You might get a chief scout because Jay said it. R-Rated said it to me, and he's spot on. He's spot on because it's no point in getting the director of football when he can't even do his job because he's listening to De Zerbi. He's like, well, why am I listening to De Zerbi for? I can get them. I'm here to sort it out myself.
Yeah, and this is it. Box office. Nobody's talking about this. This is the thing. On YouTube, you won't have anyone talking about this. And the big channels will be all going on about Tonali and Wharton and Spurs push. It will be all fake positivity for the whole summer. No one's talking about this.
Tonali and all these players are all said to be, whoever it's from the club, De Zerbi's wanted them. You know what I mean? He said yes to them. You know what I mean? Because like I said, the golden handshake, I can't believe I'm seeing Postecoglou while I'm talking about our new manager. Sorry, on the screen right now. Back to this. But the point I'm saying is that there's no point in getting director of football. No director of football there. So even Dougie Freeman, why did he want to leave his job and just be told what to do by De Zerbi? He's sitting there saying, "No, I know what I need to do. I'm here to control everything myself, the whole structure. That's the whole point. So it's obsolete. It's obsolete. You know what I mean? It's pointless. This is why I said it was. Where is the structure? Where's the plan?
This could all blow up. You know,
every single time,
guys. This could all blow up. De Zerbi jumped ship. He's had enough. Then we're back to square one. Look, I know we don't want to think too far ahead, but you know, seasons go fast. You know, games are played. We could all be back to square one with a group of players that, you know, for a different manager. Another manager comes in, he wants different players. This is it. What is the plan? All those statements that came out after the season ended are a lot of waffle. I don't understand it. I don't know what their end game is, what their goal is, what do they want to be. It's unclear still. It's just we're just putting in bids for players. It just doesn't seem to be a kind of I don't know. I don't know. Yes, Zerbi, fair enough. He's getting the defense. He's getting those passes, centre backs. That's how he plays. That's what he wants, and he's got them. Right, I get that, but I don't know if this is sustainable. Like, he's not going to be around forever, De Zerbi. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, you're right, guys. Everyone on the panel and in the chat are right to question this and ask questions. Yeah, we need to keep asking them.
It's the same with Chelsea, by the way. Sorry, because none of you want to wrap up. It's the same with Chelsea as well, by the way, because Alonso, it's the same situation with Chelsea at the moment, because they're listening to their manager as well. And he's telling them what to do as well. So, you know, it's going to be interesting to see how this works out. Whether, you know, the teams that have got better structure, like your Brightons, I don't know about Man United, but, you know, Arsenal's, you know, the Liverpool's, you know, with the structure, you know, the world structure that they've kept going for many years now. And now you've got the manager now being the ultimate with Chelsea and Tottenham, with the Zerbi at Tottenham and obviously Xabi Alonso at Chelsea. Let's see who's the most successful this season. You know what I mean? And if our way is successful, you might see more teams going down that route. You know what I mean? You don't know. You know what I mean? So it'd be interesting. Very interesting.
You know, this is it really. So just quickly go around the panel. If there is a successful if it's a successful transfer window where we sign a left winger, forward, couple of midfielders, that's what we do. We shift out another 5 or 6 players. Sensible predictions from Biker Yid. You start.
Mid-table.
Now we're shutting down. Mid-table. Okay, fair enough. Box office.
8th.
8th.
8th. Yeah, I'll say.
Okay. Scott, I know you said 10th, didn't you, mate? So
10th. I think 10th is what I'm looking at. I think that's a realistic goal for us. Depending on other factors, always can come in, but I think 10th is a realistic goal.
Okay, for me, I said I don't want to make a prediction, but as we're doing it, I think maybe 8th. Yeah, possibly 8th. Depends, really depends. Trophies. Yeah. What's this? Ozzy says, I'll take a quick fix all day of the week if it means we keep winning trophies. Guys, isn't it? Football is all about winning trophies. But
trophies, plural. What is he talking about? Keep winning trophies. We've won 1 trophy in 17 years. Not keep winning trophies. There's no quick fix to winning trophies.
No, there's not. We haven't done it. We've got a long way to go to reach that type of stuff. But big up everyone in the chat. Appreciate you all being here tonight. Smash the like button. Thank you so much. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. Go and subscribe to Anthony. He's just popped off now. Big up to him. Thanks for coming on. Bikeyid as well. Bikeyid, I could not get your link in my chat, mate. I tried to copy and paste it. It wouldn't happen, mate. Yeah, you've got to try and fix up with that, mate.
One minute.
Get me over the link and I'll put it in the chat. And people can subscribe to you. And
mate, look.
You got it. You put it in the private chat.
No, it's on my flag.
It's on what?
I'll put it in now.
Yeah, I put it in the chat, mate. And box office, this is your link as well. Box office, when are you coming out with a video, mate? We've been waiting. When you got one in the works or what?
I'm working on it. Yeah, just going a bit of a fresh reset. We start, like they say.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Something out, man.
You know, when you cover Spurs for so many years now, and you're saying the same thing, it gets a bit boring. You know what I mean? So you got to figure out ways of trying to refresh it a little bit and be a bit more exciting. But yeah, we'll be soon. We'll be some content.
Sin.
It's in there, yeah. All right, let me get it up. There we go. Cheers. Biker Yed's been in the show as long most of the night as well. But go and give him a sub as well. He's started the channel. Please give him some help as well. Thank you so much.
Thank
Scott,
you.
mate, appreciate you coming on as well. Appreciate Cookie earlier, Sheriff for a little bit as well. Thank you all so much for joining us tonight. And yeah, take care of yourselves. Have a great weekend. And yeah, catch up with you all soon. Good night.
Cheers,
Big up. Big up.
Cheers, panel. Cheers, chat. Big
up,
up,
guys.
Spurs family.
Cheers, lads. Thank you.